All right, I'm ready to go if you boys are.
All right.
Yeah, let's let it rip.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Modular Components, where it's our annual Hasbro PulseCon episode! I'm excited, yes. I'm the Vacuuminator, and I am joined, as always, by the marvelous Boingle Rider.
Hello. We will not be talking about the things that I like.
The transformative Snow Cone 83.
That's me.
And the powerful Buster Corp.
Frick Power Rangers Twitter, they suck.
They're pretty bad, but we'll get into that in a minute. So yeah, we're going to be recapping almost the entirety of Hasbro PulseCon because we, pretty much all of us, watched it together both days. And we have things to say. We're going to only gloss over Power Rangers and Marvel, though, because we have dedicated shows for that. So if you haven't, check out the No Prize podcast, where we talk about the MCU and everything related to comics in general from the week. And This Week in Toku, where we discuss all the latest news and releases from the wild world of Japanese live-action special effects. But that's all the plugging I have to do for now, except for the usual, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. So, fellas, do we have anything we want to say before we get into it? Because I want to kind of go point by point. I've got the timeline in front of me right now.
I was really worried because I didn't think last PulseCon was that impressive, especially from. I mean, the Power Rangers first section was fine, minus the last reveal, but like. I don't know, like it
that
could be
was
better.
weird, all golden fucking Megazord, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Which was a thing we will not say on this show.
Yeah. But like either way, like I was worried because I'm like, oh, they could do it again, but like, or they could just like they might not have as good reveals. But like, spoilers, I was impressed not even just by the Power Rangers section, just the whole PulseCon. Like might be the best Hasbro like Nintendo Direct they've done.
It seems like they finally kind of hit their stride with live streaming this year. Like the first year felt very like boomers trying to figure out the internet, and then the second year was, oh, let's get as much mainstream appeal in as we can for the normies. And now it feels like they've kind of figured out how to do it and who their audience is.
I mean, they still had a little bit of scuff that one time.
A little bit during the Marvel panel, yeah, we'll get into that. But Cody, do you have anything you want to say before we go into it?
about anything or about
Just kind of like general thoughts going into it.
no, I mean I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'd say.
Thoroughly.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I really didn't get to watch too much of the stream on Friday because I was working.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I mean, today seemed pretty alright.
Yeah. I definitely think Friday was much stronger than Saturday, but Saturday wasn't bad.
Yeah, Friday was front loaded with like stuff we all cared about, so.
Mm-hmm. But let's go ahead and get into that because it did kick off with a 1-hour pre-show at 11 o'clock in the morning on Friday, which was hosted by your favorite YouTuber and ours, Toy Grind Few Adams.
Hell yeah.
Who was broadcasting from the AEW Control Center. Like that. It wasn't a bad green screen set. It was just like, oh wow, this looks literally no better than that shit Tony Schiavone does every week.
There were shots where it looked fine, but there was also shots where it looked like garbage.
Mm-hmm. I think we agreed while we were watching it, Buster. Like, the head-on shot was really good, but whenever they tried to have, like, a tracking above him shot, it looked bad.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. But yeah, Theo was very charming. This is actually, like, I'll be honest, I haven't watched too much Theo, but this was a great first impression. He's very charming, very, like, he knows his audience, you know?
Yeah.
He seems very confident with, like, presentations.
And I mean, for a guy who is very explicitly on his own channel, I mainly care about Transformers and only kind of know other things that you guys talk to me about. He was very on the ball with almost everything, except for while he was doing the general rundown, he misread the Dino Fury show name, and all of Power Rangers Twitter immediately acted like the sky was falling.
Oh, we'll get to the actual sky falling later. But like, But like,
That
I
is the
honestly,
most
even then, right after that, he corrected himself and he also said, "Well, those are some exciting words," and I'm like, "Yeah, those are exciting words." Yeah.
Yeah, and then like on Twitter, somebody sent him the like big tweet making fun of him, and he literally retweeted it and went, "Teleprompters are hard, okay?"
Yeah.
I'm like, Chad move, utter
Yeah.
Chad.
Yeah. We stand few atoms in the modular media circuit.
Yeah, please come on the show at some point, sir.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll get famous and convince him.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all I have to say about the general fewness. He did have a few little teases and actual bits of news that didn't make it into the proper show. And the first thing was 2 name reveals for upcoming figures in G.I. Joe Classified series, which were General Hawk and Tripwire. I am very excited about General Hawk, especially if they're doing the version 2 look with the helmet and the bomber jacket. I think that figure is really cool. They might be going for the version 1 because they've kind of had a general want to get the original 13 figures redone and classified lately. But I could also see them maybe doing like a mix of the two. And also, it's just cool to finally get Hawk because he's basically like the Zordon or the Optimus Prime of GI Joe, whereas like Duke is more so Red Ranger, Hot Rod kind of character.
I thought Joe was the Zordon of G.I. Joe.
Joe Colton, I think of him more as like a Morphin Master kind of character.
I was just making a joke.
Okay.
Is there like a meta legacy thing that the GI Joes that we all know are like the second generation compared to like the original 12-inch GI Joes?
The original 12-inch GI Joe are all supposed to be the same guy, and I think sort of like, I can't remember when it was exactly they did this, but they kind of grandfathered that character in as Joe Colton, or Joseph Colton, and he was kind of like made out to be like this amazingly badass one-man army soldier who inspired the idea for G.I. Joe of like, oh, we need to train a bunch of people to be like this guy.
Okay.
He's also the character that Bruce Willis played in G.I. Joe Retaliation, for those of you who don't know.
So technically those old toys is that character.
Yeah. And I think he's had a few like 3 3/4-inch figures before. But also Tripwire, not really a character I care super about, but I know he's like a sort of cult darling as far as G.I. Joe characters go, and he's got a really unique look. And he has a very unique task for a G.I. Joe, which is that he's a bomb defusal expert. So like, I can see why a lot of people would be excited about and would want him. Just making sure.
There's a lot of opportunity to really give us there's a lot of opportunity to give us a really cool sculpt with that.
Yeah. I think it's just going to depend, but I trust Lenny and the gang. So we'll see. But then there was a bit of a tease that an Iron Man figure would be coming. And unfortunately, the thing that this is, and we'll talk about it when it gets properly revealed, because I think it's one of the 2 big things that all of us want to talk about from the Marvel panel. It leaked like an hour beforehand on Reddit, which was very unfortunate, but it's still a cool toy, and I'm interested to look into it, or talk about it, I should say.
Yep.
They also said the first wave of the 6-inch Indiana Jones line was going to be themed after Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I think was a pretty obvious move, but still cool. Then they showed a little teaser for the line art of Transformers Legacy 2023 was what they called it at the time, which is just basically like, look, there's Dinobots and also maybe a Junkion. What is that? And then they showed via a comic cover that we would be getting Shattered Glass Soundwave finally, which was pretty exciting. But then there was kind of an hour for everybody to go get lunch and take a little bit of a break, and then the stream proper for Saturday started with a big push for selfie series. There was a huge push for selfie series across this whole event. Like almost every panel had a little selfie series segment, which is very understandable. It's kind of the big mainstream thing Hasbro is trying to throw out right now, and it launched that day. I've already seen like a bunch of the bigger name people who I follow on Twitter posting that like they've gotten theirs done, but I don't know. I have the same kind of thoughts on selfie series I've had the whole time. The price isn't exactly to my liking. The body selection isn't exactly to my liking, and the face printing, it looks good for what it is, but it also could be way better. The most exciting thing about this announcement was that for this weekend only, which will have been long over by the time people are hearing this episode, it's going to be the original advertised price of $60. So I am tentatively thinking I'm going to get one done tomorrow, but also I'll need to use someone else's phone because the front-facing camera on mine doesn't work right now.
I understand completely why they're pimping selfie series so much, because they already have all the bodies, and this is like it costs nothing to print those faces. Let's be honest, it costs nothing. This is pure profit for them.
Probably. It's just the cost of manufacturing the bodies, which is probably like a fourth of what they're charging. Like it's probably half the expense is manufacturing the head and the body, and maybe shipping, and then the rest of it is profit. Also, we should briefly talk about the host of the whole show. I think it's Cleo Thomas was his name. I like him much better than the people we had last year. I don't remember the first PulseCon well enough, but I liked his enthusiasm. I liked how he seemed mostly on point about everything. He was still very much a mainstream shilly kind of guy, but he's better than the people we had last year who literally just sounded like they were reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah, and like, they were kind of being held at gunpoint saying, chill the things. But this guy's like, yeah, let's do it,
Mm-hmm. He seemed like he wanted to be there.
Host. Like a modern kid show host.
He seems like a guy from like a Nickelodeon reality show.
But I thought he'd been the other ones before.
I mean, very much possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I swear to God, I've seen him in. I thought he was just always in the PulseCons.
He may have been one of the hosts of last year, but
hold on, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm gonna look up PulseCon last year.
No, don't educate us. We don't need it.
Don't remind me. No traumatizing memories.
Not the stupid multiverse set. Which, by the way, the main set for PulseCon this year was so good looking. Like a lot of it was a green screen, but the actual set portion with the desk and the couch and the little DJ booth, that looked so like nice and professional that even though I'm pretty sure they just rented out a studio for the weekend, I really want them to use that for all fan streams going forward.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I have gotten to the host. Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was there last year.
Okay.
Oh, they got major, like, the direction he was given, or, like, whatever.
Or maybe he's just gotten better at it in the last year.
Yeah.
It may have also just been his co-host just giving off a different energy because the co-host was completely different.
Yeah.
Wasn't the co-host a woman last year?
The co-host was a woman last year.
Okay, and it's not to be sexist or anything. I'm just saying, like, there was a dude at a DJ booth this year.
Yeah, no, it's just different. It's different people.
Mm-hmm. And it was played much more like a talk show co-host, where like he's there the whole time, but we're only going to talk to him every once in a while.
Yeah,
and he's there to bounce off of. Like he was very much there for our main host guy to kind of go like, "Hey, isn't this cool and wacky?"
That's how they've done all three of them. Just saying, it's they've had like a main announcer, and
they were at the same desk, and they were much more like a news anchor team.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying.
That is pretty much how they did all three of them. Direction is what we're trying to say.
Maybe you're the ones who's different this time, huh?
Very much possible.
Maybe their memories are just shit. Have you thought about that?
Maybe I'm a stupid son of a bitch. I don't know.
Maybe we're all just sluts.
Hey, now we're talking.
Logan's the only one I would actually call that because he's actually popular and famous and people has like.
All right, do we want to talk about the Transformers panel?
Yeah,
now?
let's actually get
Yes.
to the Transformers
Okay,
panel instead of
please.
sucking up. Like, no.
So
Let me loose.
the first thing they showed was the kind of line-wide box art for Legacy Year 2, which is Legacy Evolution, and I like it. I'm not like super crazy about these line-wide back of the box images, but this is a nice one. All the Junkions up front look super fun. One of the first things I noticed was that Hot Shot is wearing a Junkion arm shield, and of course the big thing, Armada Prime right there, up at the top in the center. We might finally be getting the boy.
Oof.
People also noticed
just to let you all know, I am making these bigger for the audience at home watching the podcast.
Okay. People have also noted that there's a lot of Easter eggs way in the background. Like you can see one of the two of the ships actually from the '86 movie above RID Prime there, and above Leo Prime. There's the animated space bridge.
Also, the Insecticons have the deluxe Insecticons with them.
I hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, so you could see the Grasshopper and the other ones.
Mhm.
Hopefully they give us another one of the yellow ones. I was talking with the guy who runs Transformers Land, and I was asking him if he was going to get the box set with the yellow Grasshopper. That was a repaint of not Kicker. That's wrong canon. Kickback. There you go. Because technically it's improper to use Kickback as a base for that other character, because the other, like the deluxe Insecticons, were completely different, as I found out. I had not really known them, but they were like bigger.
They were made by Bandai.
And way better. Yeah. So I mean, maybe they'll give another one of that, but at the very least, it seems like we're getting a scrap metal and or whatever his name is back there. There's a bunch of cool ones. It's definitely an interesting fact about that. A lot of people are saying that the giant Decepticon thing in the middle, that's not what Tarn's head looks like. They're thinking that they're gonna make a giant Nemesis what do you call it? Titan? So they might do something like that.
That's possible. I could see them doing, I forget the name, but the Titan Liege Maximo had in IDW. I saw it, and my initial thought was, holy shit, is that Alpha Quintesson from Energon? But yeah, that's enough poster talk. Let's get on to the first toy reveal they did, which is Core Class Slug. They're going to be doing a full team of Core Class Dinobots for Legacy Evolution, which are also going to be a combiner. And honestly, I really like this. Obviously, it's not anywhere near as nice as the Studio Series Slug, but it looks like a fun little toy, and the concept of doing Combiner Dinobots at that scale makes me much more excited than doing them in the Combiner Wars style. And I also love the fact that the Combiner pegs are just 3mm pegs. So, like, you can use that for weapon ports and stuff, too, if you don't want to do the Combiner thing.
Or more importantly, weaponizers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely here for more Core Class figures. Every single one that we get just seems to be great. My favorite scale of Transformer for the longest time was the Legion class, the little guys.
Yeah.
Because it was a step above Minicom, but it had proper they managed to get some of the best articulation in the early days, because their arms were small enough and their legs were small enough that they just used ball joints, which happened to benefit the overall articulation and posability. So it was always cool to see that. A lot of people are saying that they might actually just retool all these to make that animal combiner that I forgot the name of.
Monstructor?
Yeah, Monstructor.
That'd be really cool.
I was about to say Predacon, but
yeah, I should have said that animal one.
That's King. G1 Predaking.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with any of the other animal ones that also exist.
But Slug was not the only Dinobot they showed. They also showed us what Sludge is going to look like. And I feel very similarly about Sludge. I think very obviously the biggest problem with him is the massive Dino Mode leg kibble on his hips. But honestly, it's so brazen and blatantly there that I kind of love it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Whenever you start getting into these smaller figures and they do any more than two things, and sometimes because they do two things, it's rough. But any more than two things and really start pushing it, and you can kind of tell that like these guys have a few things going on.
Mm-hmm. Also, these two guys, and I think this is why they chose to reveal them first, these two guys are going to form the chest and thighs of the Combiner as well as the head. And I think it looks fairly solid. It's obviously very similar to the Dino Bot Combiner from
Volcanicus.
Volcanicus from Power of the Primes. But I like that. I like the Volcanicus design. I just felt it looked too gangly in Power of the Primes. So seeing it get kind of a chance at redemption here is a little bit fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree.
The next reveal was also core class, and it is literally just a straight repaint. It is Sound Blaster out of the Soundwave that they did in Kingdom, but everybody loved that figure, so getting another shot at it isn't a bad thing, in my opinion. And honestly, the Sound Blaster colors look really nice on this mold.
Yeah,
I would agree.
And then they moved on to Deluxes, and the first one they revealed is probably the only thing from this panel we had already seen that I can think of, because it was shown at a toy show in Japan last week. Legacy Evolution Breakdown, who I've seen a lot of people get really uppity about because apparently the car mode is slightly inaccurate to the G1 toy, but it looks close enough to me.
So I know you're a person who, as you put, you're not familiar with the breed of cars.
Yeah, I'm not a car guy. I'm not a gear guy.
And so here's what I'll tell you. That's supposed to be a Countach. That's supposed to be a Lamborghini Countach.
Oh, that's a Countach? Yeah, no, that's a Countach.
It's supposed to be. That is just what Breakdown is, or what the other one is. It's a complete repaint, not retool, but repaint of the other one that we just got, who I have sitting in front of me, and I can't. What is his name?
Is he yellow?
No, not Dragstrip.
Sunstreaker. That's the one I was thinking of.
No, that's the Autobot. We're talking about Wild Rider. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's identical to Wild Rider, except for it has the fin, but it's supposed to be a Lamborghini Countach. And I mean, I can understand just like saving yourself and just like giving it to us in white, but I mean, it's just a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a little strange. The figure is cool. I like. Strangely enough, a lot of people complain about the backpack on that figure, but they did something with it that made it seem interesting. And it kind of seems like it looks like a jetpack. Like the hood splits apart in a very specific way. And I think it looks fine.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with my robots having backpacks most of the time. Because
with a lot of this kibble stuff, I'm just thinking like it'll be a cool thing to do. It's just like have just a little bit of molding that you could go like, oh yeah, no, they're just like fucking blasters. They just have like fucking cannons strapped to their bodies some places.
Well, sometimes they do stuff like that, but
I mean, about it, you know. I'm not saying it's just a random thought. I just wanted to put that out there.
I just always thought it was weird. Every time I see people really like diving in on that, I'm just like, bro, it's a fucking robot. Like maybe that's where their regular energy is, or something like that. Like
maybe that's
also it's a physical toy that exists in the world.
Yeah. It to my brain, when I see it putting on the animation model, I'm like, oh yeah, that's where the tires go or some shit. You know, like who cares?
I still haven't gotten any Stunticons, but I will say, now that we have like full looks at all these figures, I think if I ever do decide to go in on a set of Stunticons, I will hunt down this specific set. Especially because they took, and they talked about this during the panel, they took extra attention to detail to give him a box that looks very similar to the year one boxes instead of being in line with the rest of Evolution Wave 1 in order to have mint in box collectors be able to have their whole Stunticon display looking nice together, which I thought was a really nice bit of attention to detail they didn't have to do. Also, I just think it's hilarious that this dude's spoiler comes off and is basically a boomerang, or at least that's the way it looks to me in the one shot they have of robot mode.
Yeah, it looks a little boomerangy.
I mean, they gotta do something with it.
Yeah. But then we had the first truly hype reveal of many hype reveals during this panel, in my opinion, which was the next deluxe in Wave 1, an original character, a brand new Junkion, and the return of weaponizers, but under a new name of Evo Fusion, Scraphook. I love this guy. I know nothing about this guy, but I already love him.
Let me go. Let me loose on this.
Go.
The fucking second I found out what it was, what it does, and then looked at the like, if you look back at the art that they teased, if you look at that picture, you'll see that, like, the first picture, like where there's a guy standing on it, that looks like it would be a core class figure standing on that back part of Scraphook, and the front part has two different bike parts attached to it. That means that they have planned these to where, instead of like the last weaponizers we got, where it's like, you know, Cog was a great figure, but he kind of turned into nothing because he had a whole different purpose. Or, you know, they did like the other ones who I don't mind, but like Ironworks and stuff like that, where they turn into a base and something else, you know, like most of them kind of really didn't have vehicle modes in mind, but all of these do, and they still break apart into very interesting pieces, and they all have the same color scheme. Like, my mind is just racing with like what you could do with this. You could make a giant vehicle like out of all of the pieces. Like, you can already see like how it breaks down and like how parts and pieces break apart.
Like,
and
I'm expecting tons of photos of like huge Mad Max armadas, because that's what this guy turns into, is just like a Mad Max pickup truck. And I kind of
literally, you could just release 2 more of these guys with different parts, and you would have infinite army builders.
Well, see, and like that's not like it to see like a truck cab sitting on the back of a truck with another car cab in the front just fits into the Mad Max aesthetic. You know, it's literally the same way they build those vehicles. It is essentially what it really is to me. Is there's this like kind of crappy game I play called Crossout, which is essentially like you build vehicles out of like scrap and stuff like that, and you can mix and match. I just like it to build the vehicles. I don't like it for the gameplay. The gameplay's all right, but the game's really money grabby. But it's essentially that, broken into pieces. Everything, like, it does transform. It looks like it could actually fold up into a truck without having to do anything else. But I don't care. I don't care if I have to disassemble and reassemble, because anybody who complains about parts forming obviously never actually was a fan of like Megazord. So who gives a shit?
Or G1 figures.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the way this guy looks. I love the potential. I really hope that they do a Deluxe or Voyager Stunticon, or not Stunticon, Junkion in every wave going forward, so that we can continue to build on this, and you can just like finally make those weird random background Junkions from the movie you've always wanted to have.
And Junkion just be like their own visual faction. Just every wave.
Should be.
Well,
they're Autobot adjacent, but they've always been treated as their own kind of thing. Also, this is where we get to see the boxes for year 2, which are very similar to the year 1 boxes. But of course, they have the Evo Fusion call out on the back, and they're still doing open window, but now there's an extra layer of cardboard surrounding the figure to try and prevent people stealing the figures out of the boxes. And it just looks bad. It looks rushed and shoved together. Like, why are you bothering with a window at this point is kind of how I feel.
Well, see, honestly, like this versus anything else, like unless they just make them look like they're in prison or something. Oh, excuse me. It's either this or it's more of what's been going on with Iron Spider and all of those other figures that have been hitting Target, where most of the people you see who buy them are buying ones that were returned and sealed with different figures in them.
See, I honestly, I understand why people are panicking and worried about that, but I kind of have no sympathy for it because, like, you can very easily check if the tape's been cut on those.
Well, sometimes people do a pretty good job of sealing it back up. And sometimes even the samples I get from Hasbro Pulse, like, the tape was broken or it looks fucked up. Like, there are ways where you could actually, like, easily peel the tape back, open it without having to cut the tape, and then just put the tape back on. And if you heat it a little bit, you'll never know. Like, it's possible. Most people don't take that time, but there are people out there who can take the time to do that.
Okay. I've never seen a case like that. Usually it's like the tape is all fucked up and clearly looks like it's been cut and new tape has been put on top of it whenever I see pictures of fixed swaps online. But I don't doubt what you're saying there. That definitely does sound like it could be a thing. Do we have anything else to say about Scraphook, or do we want to just move on to the next reveal?
It also kind of looks like Energon Rodimus.
Yeah, I could see them retooling him into that Rodimus.
Wait, who is the guy who had the crane arm in Armada?
Oh god.
Smokescreen
/ hoist, yeah.
Also, the fact that his, like, tailpipes are shaped like that makes it look like Hot Rod has angel wings made out of, like, scrap. Everything about this I love. It's a 100% from me, dude. I'm ready to see every single one of them.
Yeah.
Give us more Junkions of different kind of things, because we've had a bunch of bikes. Now we have this guy. Give us a Junkion semi. Give us a Junkion Jeep.
Give me a Junkion sports car that just looks like the windows are smashed in or something like that.
Well, if you scroll up and look at that picture, you can actually see that there's a muscle car on the far left that looks like it could easily be retooled into a Lockdown, because it literally just looks like Lockdown.
Yeah, it does. Holy shit.
And it also looks like we're going to be getting another bike, but with a sidecar attachment, which, if I'm looking at that sidecar, that's actually the front of Scraphook.
Ooh.
And it is.
Nice. Okay.
Oh my god, the front of Scraphook in that image is just two bikes like he's a chariot.
I said that a second ago.
Did you? I wasn't paying attention.
That was when I was going in on it, man. How dare you?
Look,
also,
I'm trying to keep the photos visually interesting for the audience.
All right.
I'm trying to keep you visually interesting. And it's
I am
hard.
not visually
That's
interesting.
a tall task, Cody. Calm down.
I'm visually disinteresting.
That's why you're a VR.
All right. Let's talk about the thing, and Buster can cooperate this. The thing that made me stand up out of my chair, scream like a little girl, and start crying tears of joy.
This is the happiest I've ever seen him.
Legacy Armada Hot Shots.
God damn.
A lot of people, not just Vac, were like super happy about this.
This is like, because here's the thing. Hotshot is the Bumblebee of my generation. Literally, they created the character because they couldn't get the trademark to Bumblebee back.
Also, like, this is the first figure the first brand new attempt at this specific version of the character.
No, it's not. There was one in Transformers Universe, and it's very good for its time, but it still had a few little faults and foibles. Actually, let me grab an image of that for the podcast. How long ago was that? That was in 2008.
Yeah. Which isn't that far after Armada, honestly, so...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, this is the first time this version of the character has had, like, brand new engineering and shit.
Yeah, so that's the Universe figure. And, like, it looks good, especially compared to the original, but this looks leagues better. Like, this looks like everything you would want in an update of that original figure, except it doesn't come with Jolt. But, like, I would be shocked if Jolt isn't going to be a core class in Wave 2 or something.
Well, I'm kind of curious as to what they're doing right now, because Bulkhead has a few Minicon ports.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the other figures they've been releasing also have Minicon ports.
Wait, does this guy have Minicon ports? I didn't check.
Yeah, he does.
In the exact place. He has it in the right place, too.
Okay. But, like, yeah, he's got all the articulation.
Oh my god! you can use one of the axles for the fucking missile
Yeah.
launcher.
They showed that with the one they had in hand. We don't have a screen cap of it, but he can do the Axel Zuka. His visor folds down, and they actually they improved on the original toy here. The original toy, it's just black. And in the show, it's supposed to be like it folds down, and on the inside, there's a whole HUD for him. It's like goggles. It folds down, and most of it is black, but it's actually cast in translucent blue plastic, so his eyes can still see through, which I thought looked so cool.
My only question is, I mean, it doesn't seem like he has painting on his feet, because like originally, whenever you'd push the engine in on his top, like it would flip out those little like chainsaw things.
The joint for that is there, though.
Yeah, so it looks like he could still do it. But you know, I mean, it's great. They did everything they could. I believe that.
Yeah, and also notably, the one they photographed, the little circles on his knees aren't painted, but on the box they're painted. So I'll be interested to see what it actually looks like in hand, because that was like my tiny nitpick with this thing, is that detail wasn't painted. It's sculpted there, but it's not painted. And also, he comes with the engine gun.
You guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm looking at the torso. It looks like he has an ab crunch.
Oh yeah, he totally does. He has an ab crunch and a waist swivel.
They basically looked at that hunk of plastic that had no articulation in Armada and just went, "What if we just make him like good?"
Like friggin' Mark Clonis just went, all right, what can I do that will make TJ Omega never bitch at me ever? We love you, TJ. Please come on the show. So the next reveal, I'll admit, was a bit of a, okay, let's get to the next thing for me. But it's just because I don't really super care about late G1 characters. I only care about them when Few's talking about them. And obviously, Few wasn't talking about the reveal of Legacy Needlenose. But it looks good for what it is. It's as good an update to Needlenose as that Hot Shot is to the original Hot Shot. But, like, I don't give a crap about Needlenose. I think he's a really uninteresting looking design.
I love it.
All right.
Funny name. Very funny name.
He looks like Weapon Masters.
His head looks like a knight.
I do love that he comes with both Target Masters, though. That's great attention to detail, especially because Hot Shot's not coming with Jolt, but this guy gets both his boys.
Yeah, but I think this is not a deluxe. Is it a deluxe?
This is a deluxe. This is the last deluxe they showed.
Interesting. A deluxe jet. We never get those.
Mm-hmm. We haven't gotten any since Titan's Return, I think.
It'll be great to see him next to, what's his name? Twin Twist?
Spinister?
Spinister, yeah. That was one of the best figures from
Siege.
Was it in Siege? It was like at the end of Siege?
He was tail end of Siege.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere, dude. I was really excited. I'd never seen it before. Yeah, I love that figure, and like this guy looks just as good. Like the articulation looks solid.
Mm-hmm. But then the hype levels went right back up because the next reveal was one of the two Voyagers in Wave 1, Leo Prime, aka Lio Convoy from Beast Wars 2.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woohoo!
It looks real fucking good.
It looks legitimately better than the Masterpiece, and I'm one of the people who thought the Masterpiece looked pretty good.
Yeah. I was just watching the show just now. I'm just like, I'll just watch some of the show while we do the Transformers talk to get me in the mood. And it's not perfect to the show, but I don't know, what's gonna be is.
When you look at the show, it is a very stylized anime. Yeah. This fits in with the rest of Transformers a little easier.
Yeah.
I love how people were complaining about the face looking really bland and more like a toy compared to the box art in the anime, and I'm like, I kind of love that. There's something about this that just looks very toy box to me, while at the same time having that dynamicness in robot mode.
Yeah, like I
You've
will
seen
like
the
even
memes?
then, like the anime had the face change on robot mode and in like the expressiveness, so it's like this was gonna be a problem for the people are gonna bitch either way.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been posting side by sides with that lion and the what is it? Ed's sister in Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, brother.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I love this though. The figure looks like super great. I never really cared too much about Leo Prime. Definitely gonna buy it, and I'll definitely buy it when they re-release
I
it in
don't
black.
care. I'm gonna buy it anyway.
Yeah,
Also,
like
I
I've
always just
never
loved
given.
I loved
like-
how chunky the chest design looks.
I don't care
Yeah.
about the character, but I've always thought it was a very good looking design. Like I like the original toy, I like the masterpiece, I like this. If I see this on a shelf, I'll get it. I'm not gonna like pre-order it or keep an eye out for it, but if I happen to run across it, I will get it.
I might
Um,
pre-order it. We'll see. We'll see.
But then we got the reveal that got the entire Transformers fandom freaking out more so than anything. I think they knew what they were doing, kind of closing the legacy stuff out with this. The Decepticon Voyager of Legacy Evolution Wave 1. IDW Tarn!
Yeah. No, and you could tell that they went all in on this. Like he's got no kibble, he's got no holes in any of his thighs, wrists, whatever.
They
Perfectly
posted a
articulated.
picture of the back on Instagram. I don't have it up, but it is like the most clean back I've ever seen on a Transformer. This thing looks better than the Mastermind Creations third-party figure of Tarn.
Okay, but I have to
They're done
ask,
for
which
everyone with
comics
this.
does Tarn appear in? I wanna like, because this is a really cool
Tarn
design.
appeared in Morden Meets the Eye 2015, I think it is. It's
Makes sense. Yeah, everyone loves that one. So
Yeah. He is the leader of the Decepticon Justice Division, which is basically the internal affairs of the Decepticons. If anybody tries to desert the cause, it's his job to hunt them down and kill them in the most gruesome way possible. And I mean, like, he is not even... For the longest time, we didn't think we'd get any of the DJD in the main line, especially as actual transforming toys, because of how hyper-violent they get in the comics sometimes. And Tarn's not even the most hyper-violent of them. There's one of them that literally turns into an electric chair.
ooh.
Yeah. Didn't he do something with Megatron? Because isn't that the comic where Megatron turns into an Autobot?
Yeah, he's also a Megatron fanboy. Like, the fact that, like, you see in his tank mode, he has the two cannons. You can put those on his arm as a double fusion cannon. And that was the... like, he's basically the Kylo Ren to Megatron's Darth Vader.
And they're blast effect compatible.
Mm-hmm.
So like what the thing I secretly love the most about this is like he still has all the 3.5 millimeter ports everywhere. One on top, 3 on the side, each of the cannons count, and like all 4 of his little front facing guns are compatible. This thing fucks is what it does.
I'm looking at the
It
robot
looks
version.
like a perfect toy.
It looks like there's a place where you can put like blast effects on his chest for like impact zones.
Yeah.
The only question I still have about this thing is his
Me
face. His face, the Decepticon symbol, that's actually a mask he wears in the comics, and it's not until like issue 50 or something that he finally takes it off and we see what he looks like. I want to know if that mask is going to come off on this toy, because I know it did
2015
on...
is a good starting point, right?
Yeah, 2015 is the beginning of IDW Phase 2. It starts with the Death of Optimus Prime one-shot, and then it splits off into Morden Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise. Both of which are very good, but a lot of people love Morden Meets the Eye more because it did a lot of, like, first ever kind of stuff in Transformers, like dealing with gender politics and whatnot.
Nice. So yeah, I'll think about it reading them. Maybe we could do like how we did the Boom Comics spoiler cast over like 50 episodes ago.
Yeah. But that was it for new toy reveals. They then went into an extensive rundown of an upcoming Magic the Gathering and Transformers crossover, which doesn't look bad, but I don't care about Magic the Gathering, so I didn't pay super attention to it, and the account I have up here for images and stuff didn't take a whole lot. Like, the one image we have is Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, which I do like how they're doing, like, for every normal character they're also doing a shattered glass version, and the cards have that whole shattered aesthetic to them. That's a nice touch. Also, people were flipping out about the fact that Shattered Glass Wheeljack has Armada Wheeljack, or no, it's Shattered Glass Slicer has Armada Wheeljack's colors.
And the symbol on the car roof is also slashed the same way Armada Wheeljack is.
Yeah, which was a nice little touch. Yeah, the cards seem cool.
Yeah, I don't play Magic a super ton, so I don't know if these are just like essentially repaints, you know? Like they're taking an existing card with the card text and just changing the name. I'm not sure if that's what's going on because that's what they did with the Godzilla ones. I'm just giving you this information because I know vaguely about it.
Okay.
I'm just putting it out there.
But yeah,
Hey, the trailer for Quantumania leaked.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show. It looks good.
I posted it here, dude.
But the only other thing I have to say is I like how the main universe cards are going very hard into like the Sunbow aesthetic. Like seeing Flame War in like a Sunbow design was very fun for me. But I think that's all I have to say on the cards. Does anybody have anything else to say about them?
It makes total sense for Magic to start dealing with more multiversal things.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing it with Godzilla, they do it with D&D now, because that's just part of the lore of Magic.
Mm-hmm.
So why not use their IPs for it, you know?
So the next thing they did was a quick rundown of the PulseCon exclusive War Dawn box set, which we've already seen extensive photos of. We know everything there is to know about it, and I've kind of said my opinion several times. I think it's cool. It's very smart reuse, but I'm probably not going to get it anytime soon, if ever. I might get Alpha Trion if I can ever find him loose, but there's been better Orion Pax figures, in my opinion.
You don't want a disco ball?
I don't super care about the Vector Sigma stuff in the Sunbow cartoon. Like there's things I like up from the Sunbow canon. Like that's my preferred origin for the Dinobots. But Vector Sigma can kind of stay in that show, in my opinion. But then they did
these nuts.
Oh my god!
No, your opinion on
Agreed. Looks neat. I love the reuse of Cup. The colors look nice. I also don't care.
Okay.
I have the best Orion Pax figure that'll probably ever be made, so whatever.
Yeah, I've got to track that thing down someday. It's the Frilling Furry one, right?
Yeah, the one where he has like a axe.
Yeah. But then they did the Hall of Fame, where they inducted
Lugnut.
Yeah, Lugnut was the winner for new Transformers animated character. I don't have any images for the other stuff. Legacy Toy of the Year was kind of to no one's surprise, in my opinion, Motor Master, because it's just such an impressive glow up from the
Combiner Wars.
Yes. And then the actual human person they inducted, I don't have a tweet for him here, and I'm blanking on his name right now.
Henry something.
Yeah, I feel like a complete jackass, though, because I'd actually never heard of the guy before, but apparently he passed away this year, and he was the actual guy who brokered the deal between Hasbro and Takara. Which was really interesting to hear about and kind of learn about, because all of a sudden on my Twitter timeline, every Transformers fan I follow was like posting a mini bio for him, and I was like, holy crap, how have I never heard of him before? This is cool.
I got the TF Wiki page for the guy right here. Henry Ornstein.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of the guy. Was the man credited by forming Hasbro by former Hasbro CEO as the catalyst for the Transformers existing, the man who convinced Hasbro to buy these funny-looking Diaclone and Microchange toys and repackage them. He also shares the original patent for Generation 1 rub signs with George Dunsey.
Mm-hmm. And apparently he
Oh,
was
so-
also like a toy inventor in his own right. Like he had made a lot of other stuff outside of Transformers.
So somebody who's directly responsible, if not the sole reason, like Transformers exist. You know, the Diaclones might have carried over or something like that in some other way, but Transformers in the way they exist right now and have existed for ever would not be the same without this man's decision. So that's a shame.
He's
Yeah.
also a Polish immigrant. I'm just going through it. Second youngest son of a Jewish family. He spent World War II first as a refugee, fleeing Soviet-controlled zone. Nazis conquered West Poland, turned themselves in, and sunk. And he subsequently survived 5 different concentration camps.
Basically, a total badass who totally deserves to be here because
Total badass that deserves to be remembered.
like
but also-
Snowcone was saying, Transformers probably wouldn't exist without this guy.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was very nice. I feel like all those were fairly deserved. It didn't feel like anybody got
Here's a
cheated
quick
in.
list of things he also invented. He invented successful toys such as Johnny Lightning cars, the Johnny 7 OMA, and the Dawn dolls.
Well, I think we've all definitely heard of Johnny Lightning cars. We had a whole tangent about them one night, like months and months ago. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And then the final bit of Transformers news out of the panel was they showed Shattered Glass Generation Soundwave, who is a repaint of the Earthrise mold, which I guess means that mold is no longer exclusive to Walmart, and they can maybe re-release it somehow in the regular colors, please. He looks great. I like the way they did the headband. It looks almost like it's molded on, but I'm sure it's a separate piece. And I love the recoloration of Laserbeak that almost makes it look like a piloted mech or something.
Yeah. And
I
that's
just
like
love how
the first
cheesy
version
kung
of
fu
Laserbeak.
he is.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm sure you've seen the pictures too, but you know, I've seen somebody post a picture of him in just yellow.
That is always a concern. There's been an overarching yellowing issue with Transformers over the last couple of years, but Hasbro's aware of it, so I think they're probably working to correct it, and hopefully we'll have in time for this guy. And then they cut back to Cleo for a little bit, and him and his guy kind of talked about various things they showed, and they did a big stunt of like, oh look, we have AR technology this year. Look at this life-size projection of Tarn. Oh my god, this is so cool. And I was like, well, at least it looks better than when WWE does it.
I mean, it's also just like a nice little like showing you the real scale of the toy of like what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, fair enough. So the next panel up was Power Rangers, and I'm gonna kind of quickly blitz through everything they showed for the Lightning
guys, gotta
Collection.
unmute my mic and stop reading a cute webcomic.
Hey, Buster, welcome
Were you
back.
reading Nothing Ordinary by the one, the only webcomic artist Hatchet Co., or were you reading Rainbow Heart by the one, the only, the webcomic artist Yggdrasil? Evergreen.
What if I said neither? But like they're great comics anyway, and I have read them. And you should check them out.
What were you reading, Buster? Plug the thing
Okay,
you were reading.
it's
That's
called
good.
Matchmaker. I'm gonna put like an image, a cute panel of the comic, and like the URL right here. It is very fun.
That
So
art
I've read-
style feels very Brian Lee O'Malley. I approve.
Yeah, I think that's why I vibe with it. It's like a as the link says, it's the queer Garfield in a way. Or yeah.
All right, so the Power Rangers panel opened up with them showing in-hand samples of the entire next wave of Lightning Collection, which was going up for pre-order today, which is Dino Charge Blue, Beast Morphers Yellow, the Wild Force Putrids,
that's pretty cool, and
Dino Fury Green. I love this. I love this whole wave. It's a massive departure from what we've been doing. There's no like marquee MMPR era character. There's no Red Ranger, and it's all characters that we need to get closer to completing teams.
There's no
and all favorite characters.
There's no original Saban in that.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
technically, like Wild Force, but even then,
Many people consider that the first Disney era.
yeah, it was transition season.
But it's also almost all fan favorite characters. Like the Putrid is a bit of a wild card. I like Putrids. I think they're a great foot soldier design or grunt design or whatever term you want to use. But like people loved Zoe in Beast Morphers. People love Coda from Dino Charge. He's one of my favorite Rangers of all time, honestly.
Yeah, Chad.
And I think we can all agree Izzy is one of the best characters in Dino Fury.
Yeah, and Dino Fury has a lot of cool, fun characters, you know.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be very much keeping my eye out for this whole wave, and I kind of want to get 4 Putrids. I want to army build them as much as I did the MMPR putties.
Yeah, you want to show Hasbro that there's an option for more foot soldiers. There's a market for more foot soldiers out there.
Mm-hmm. But then they did what they called a lightning round tease of free teams that they will be completing next year: SPD, Lost Galaxy, and Dino Thunder. And we already know we're getting Dino Thunder Black, Lost Galaxy Pink, and SPD Yellow in the next wave after this one. So this was just kind of like confirmation silhouettes of them. I mean, you can really tell that's meant to be Dino Thunder Black in the silhouette there.
Yeah, 100%.
However, and I know there's going to be plenty of waves in 2023, so they could still possibly do this. They're probably implying that doing yellow completes SPD. And I know it completes the main team. We have had this argument 3 times already this weekend. But to me, SPD will not be completed until they do Cat and Nova Ranger.
Let's do it, am I right?
Here's the thing: did they fight the final boss?
Listen,
I
buddy.
mean, Nova was like a last minute cameo, basically. She was.
Yeah, Nova shows up after the battle is won, and Cat was in one episode, a few episodes before the finale.
I mean, they should still do Cat because she has that fighting game. Like, she was a playable character in Battle for the Grid, so.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, Doggy was one of the first figures in the line, and I just can't imagine Doggy without Cat. Like, they are like the team mom and dad of SPD to me.
What if you don't get them in suit? Would you be happy with that?
A civilian figure of Cat would be cool.
Yeah, she has some drip.
Have I don't know if I've ever said it on Modular Media, but I had a childhood crush on Cat's actress.
Not surprising.
Actress.
Yeah. I'm way over it now, but like that's something I think about and chuckle about every once in a while.
We all like that wacky little thing.
Mm-hmm. But then they showed, and this leaked a few days beforehand. We already have tons of pretty promotional shots of it, but they did a rundown of the next Zap Megazord, which is going to be the Astro Megazord from In Space, and it looks absolutely perfect. I was sold on this thing as soon as those promotional photos leaked. It literally looks like, again, a perfect update to that old toy. It has all the articulation you could possibly want. It's got a waist joint and an ab crunch. It's got ankle tilt. It's got multiple different hands. All this pretty detailing. There's freaking chrome on this thing. And honestly, I'm surprised this thing isn't $200+. It's going to be $166, which probably sounds like a steep price to some people. But keep in mind, this thing's got all this detailing, all this engineering going into it, and it's gonna be 14 inches tall.
Yeah, like that's Don Onitajin big for like
it's
the record.
It's the size of a baby.
Yeah, congratulations! Like, just imagine someone gives birth to the Astro Megazord. Just be like,
Jesus.
congratulations! It's a ship that transforms.
So, considering that it's kind of like a Chigoken, a solo Chigoken figure,
yeah,
like it's essentially cheaper than that. It's cheaper than most of the solo Chigoken.
Yeah, this might be less than Premium Bandai would charge for this.
Yeah,
and it still looks good. And if it does the Delta Zord thing, then I'm probably going to be in on it. I do have that like not necessarily cheap Mini-Pla model kit of the Delta Zord in this Zord, and it's kind of perfect. But this could just be that little bit extra.
Yeah, this is an absolute must-have for me. And as I said on Twitter when it leaked, if Jacob Brody doesn't buy one for himself, I'm buying him one. He has to have this, damn it.
That is Database Rangers power reviews for you uninformed viewers.
Yeah, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog.
But
Wow,
Then
I
they
didn't know
had-
we were doing a guest podcast.
then they had the one part of the panel that I think was kind of rough for a lot of people, and I can see why. But I like one of these figures, and I'll talk about that more in a second. They showed the second wave of the Power Rangers X Street Fighter figures, which are Cami and Ryu. Is that correct?
It's
No,
Ken,
Ken.
you idiot!
Ken.
God
They've
damn
already
it,
done a
sorry.
Ryu.
Yeah, Ryu was wave 1. I'm
And
sorry.
you can tell Hasbro kit bashed these. Like, this is not designed by the guy who designed Ryu and Chun-Li. These are like completely different design philosophies, just like MMPR parts kit bashed into. And that sense, I kind of respect it. Cami looks fine.
Yeah, I actually like Cami. I would get this Cami, especially because they
Cami's
made a big
kind of
deal out of
missing an
her hair
important
is
detail, but, you know.
articulated.
Yeah. Like this is like, I just wish the my big issue. Yeah, I'm even grown to like Ken based on the Street Fighter 6 story, and like this fits his Street Fighter 6 story. But like the little like just the inconsistency with Ryu and Chun-Li with the mouths specifically, the mouths bug me so much.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Hasbro, stop with this kiddie shit. Bring us the real shit. Get the license for Street Fighter.
Yeah, like do a Street Fighter premium.
It's coming out. Just get this license for Street Fighter. Give us the toys we want.
I love how,
I
I love how
agree.
you guys are just
Agree.
basically out
Fighter.
here asking Hasbro to cuck Boss Fight Studios.
Yes. I'll be. Oh, wait, but I don't like Hasbro cucking.
No,
they
fucking give us the easily accessible fucking Street Fighter figures.
Please.
But like I said, I think Cami looks good. I can agree about the mouth thing. She definitely would look better if it was just a plate there. I agree with everyone though that Ryu looks like hot trash. Like I hate the
Jen.
fact that he has bare arms and his helmet looks like he's sporting a goatee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryu and Chun-Li looked good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the
that-
sad part is
Let
this
me-
isn't even Ken's worst design ever in the realm of fiction.
Mm-hmm. But that is all the toy news there was during this panel. There was also a crap ton of show and comic news, which we're not going to go into here because we're already like way longer than I thought we would be at this point. And also because we're going to talk about it extensively on Twit. Basically, the fucking Cosmic Fury is going to be 10 episodes exclusive to Netflix, dropping around the world on the same day. David Yost and Walter Jones are coming back, and the cast is very, very excited. There's going to be original suits, and they're going to use the Q Ranger Zord footage.
I'm just posting pictures of the Chun-Li and Ryu
Yeah,
Power Ranger figures for
honestly,
the audience.
having been like these are easy skips for me when they first announced, the Chun-Li design has really grown on me.
Chun-Li looks great. Ryu looks great in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you can
Chun-Li
also
looks intentional. The Cami does not.
yeah. These look like they were like I can see what they were going for with Cami and Ken, but like they aren't original enough.
It also helps that Chun-Li and Ken, or not, Chun-Li and Ryu have already appeared in an actual game and as physical suits before.
Yeah. Actually, Chun-Li was not.
I was gonna say, have they not
There was a short
Cami
film.
and
There was a short film with Ryu's Ranger, but like made by Band the Sun. But like Chun-Li was game exclusive. That was like a year, like basically to celebrate the year anniversary of Ryu's Ranger form. They did a Chun-Li Ranger form, and those got ported to Battle for the Grid.
I could
Yeah.
have sworn I saw a physical suit of Chun-Li at some
Probably a
point. But maybe
cosplay.
I was
Yeah,
going
it
to
might
say
be a
maybe it
cosplay.
was a cosplay, but
And I think that's the big problem is like these look like Chun-Li and Ryu as Rangers, while these look like Rangers with Power Rangers with some Street Fighter things glued on.
Yeah.
Like the integration of the gloves on Cami's amazing. If they played more with that, yeah, that'd been better.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's it for Power Rangers. Then they went to starting lineup, which
right.
was I liked it for the most part, just like it reinforced pretty much everything I've been thinking about this line. They started off with a video package that felt like an ad for athletic wear, and a lot of the way they talked about it, and a lot of the people, which, by the way, they got one of the guys who worked on the original starting lineup line back for this, which was pretty cool. And they were just talking about it in very much a way that made me think like, all right, this isn't for us fat toy nerds. This is for sports fans who buy sports memorabilia regularly and are going to be comfortable with a $50 price tag. But we did get to see all the figures they had shown digital renders for online last week in hand. And I'd say they all look way better in hand than they did in digital renders. They're just like really, really accurate to the guys, in my opinion, as a sports.
I really like the digital renders, so.
Mm-hmm. And I also love how they like took time to talk about every one of their shoes, because I know shoes are a big thing, especially in basketball, but in sports in general. And they made a big deal out of like, hey, we got the license for all these individual shoes. They're completely accurate. The uniforms are completely accurate. We got all the little logos and stuff like that.
Completely accurate, because NBA uniforms also have like a little sponsorship logo on the other side of the collar. And they don't have those, which is a form of inaccuracy that's better.
Okay. And also they don't have any tattoos, because you'd have to get the individual rights from all the tattoo artists.
Yep.
But for what they are, I think they look very good. The one thing I didn't like about this is I predicted last week that they would probably gloss over the word we will not say here. And they didn't. They spent about 2 to 3 minutes talking about it and how it was going to work. And that was just like constant cringe for me.
And the main reason we won't be buying these immediately, at least firsthand.
Yeah.
Buy these secondhand if you're interested in them.
I hope to find LeBron on clearance at some point.
Yeah. God, who wouldn't want to own the star action figure of the hit star from Space Jam 2?
But then they went to the Fortnite panel, which was probably the worst panel of the whole show, because everything they showed was already on store shelves. Like this is the whole wave that they showed, and it was in the hand of the guy who we're doing news photos from. And then the deluxe they showed had been found, and a review posted of it literally the day before.
Yeah. It managed to make it to, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it managed to make it to store shelves without anybody even knowing it.
Yeah, like literally, one of my favorite toy reviewers right now, Robo of the Floosh, posted a picture on Twitter Thursday morning and was like, did I miss this or what? And people were like, nobody's ever seen that before. Grab it now. And like within 3 hours, he had a review up, and it was a solid review because he makes solid reviews. You
still getting the Fortnite figures, Cody?
Yes.
Okay.
The Hasbro Fortnite figures are the best ones they made yet.
Mm-hmm. I thought these are really good looking figures. It just sucks that we'd already seen them all extensively.
Are Jazzwares not good, or is just Hasbro better?
Jazzwares no longer has the 6-inch license. They can only make 4-inch figures now.
Okay.
You can own the license to size?
Yes. Hasbro bought out the 6-inch scale license from McFarlane and Jazzwares.
Because it's different. It's different toy markets.
I guess, but that's just funny to me.
Diamond Select can't make their Marvel figures super articulated because of
Hasbro.
I'd never heard of that. Ooh.
Yeah. But I mean, it can't be fucking exclusive because fucking other companies make super articulated versions of fucking characters.
It's changed a little bit now.
But then they went to Marvel Legends, and we're gonna try and breeze through this as much as possible. We spent more time on Power Rangers than I thought we would, but oh well.
But hey, if you want to see more of the Marvel stuff exclusively, tune into No Price Podcast.
Yeah. The first thing they showed was the thing that had leaked, the Pulse exclusive Iron Man Retro Collection Iron Man, which is literally just Marvel versus Capcom Iron Man, and it looks amazing.
Iconography.
I've pre-ordered this. This is going to be my shelf Iron Man going forward. It looks. I love the colors. I love the Tony Stark head. I love the effects and alternate hands. The giant cannon from his finisher. It just looks fantastic.
Oh my god! I just noticed in the packaging, the head that's on the figure is very much the cartoon Iron Man head.
Yep.
The one that's above Tony's head, that's Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah.
That's literally the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 sprite.
It's so perfect.
It
They
came with
literally were
both
like,
heads.
they're this were like, oh hey, we can't just make Marvel vs. Capcom figures, so we're just gonna make them and say they're different things.
Yeah. But then the scuff happened. The stream froze for a full 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure right about 10 minutes, yeah. On
Right around
this
here.
image. Because they told us after the Legends segment that literally power went out in the building. And I don't want to say that was due to Hurricane Ian, but Hurricane Ian was rolling into that part, or I'm sorry, Tropical Storm Ian was rolling into that part of the country that day. Like literally, I was told that around the time Marvel Legends went on, it was supposed to start raining in my area, and it didn't start raining until 3 hours after that. Yeah, that was pretty tough, and because of that, we missed something we'll circle back around to a little later. And they came back talking about this deluxe release retro Ghost Rider figure, which looks very fun, looks very cute. It's nice background fodder, I'd say, or if you're into those, you'll probably love it, but not super my thing.
This was Cody, you could correct me if I'm wrong. Is this kind of like a throwback to the original Secret Wars toys?
I mean, I guess those were 5-point articulated figures that they made.
This just feels very Secret Wars to me, like, you know.
Kind of, sorta. I can see it.
Let me look at it. I mean, yeah. It's about the same articulation, so it could be. Hopefully, we need a Ghostbuster that looks like that in Legend scale. So, because they haven't done a red bike Johnny Blaze since Toy Biz.
Yeah, they should totally do that. But
and that was a chase variant, if I remember correctly.
Then
that's the problem with Ghost Rider. They have too many big accessories that makes it difficult to get. Yeah.
But speaking of Ghost Rider, they then went into giving us updates on the HasLab, which, if you're not aware, we didn't get the separate figure of Robbie Reyes, the early bird goal, but they decided to include the alternate head and like a downed hoodie piece, so you can make the Ghost Rider that comes with it into Robbie Reyes. I unfortunately don't have a photo of that. But then they showed the painted prototype of Mephisto, which looks great in my opinion. I know a lot of people are down on this Mephisto. I like the way it looks. I like how it looks even better in hand. It's a good looking devil boy. And hey, Spider-Man collectors, we now have to buy this $300 Ghost Rider car
to recreate the scene we all hate.
Yep. You have any thoughts on Mephisto, Cody?
Looks fine.
All right. They then did a tease for what the next stretch goal is going to be, which kind of threw me. I was expecting, after they didn't get the early bird goal and there was kind of a mini backlash to the Engine of Vengeance, I figured they were just going to be like, all right, cards on the table, here's all the stretch goals. But no, they just did a tease of Mephisto holding this gem. And a few minutes later, somebody identified that it is the gem that adorns the Goblin Queen's outfit.
AKA Madeline Pryor.
Which makes sense because remember, they said these were all going to be 6-inch scale figures that they can't do at retail. And like, fuck, Madeline Pryor looks how Madeline Pryor looks as the Goblin Queen. You put that on a retail shelf, some soccer mom's going to complain. Yeah.
Also, she is now the Queen of Limbo, so it totally makes sense for her to be here, even more so. And Inferno, of course.
Then they teased some figures for a future wave. First off, somebody who we had his gun teased at SDCC, Orb, who looks very fun, very cool, kitschy 70s design. But he's on the Bucky Cap body. I thought we were retiring that, guys.
This may have just been in production for a while.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. But then the one that got me and Boingo really hype, they showed Secret Wars Multiple Man. And this is supposed to be like, this can be Molecule Man. This can be either original Secret Wars I keep saying multiple, Molecule Man, or Hickman Secret Wars Molecule Man, because it's almost the same outfit in both stories.
Yeah, the only difference is classic Molecule Man tends to the lines on his face are a little bit more present, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks great. It's excellent reuse of that Zenmu Wave Red Skull body, which I love.
Hey, Marvel, give us some Miles with a cheeseburger part, please and thank you.
Ooh,
that is one of the best goddamn scenes in all of that comic. Is both the Spider-Man seeing Molecule Man and him just going like, "Hey, do you guys have anything to eat?" And Miles just going like, "I have a cheeseburger." Oh, dude, I would love that because it's just such a human moment in the middle of all this cosmic bullshit, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, clearly they like that story. This is the second Hickman Secret Wars figure we've gotten, because in that same wave as that Red Skull, we got Secret Wars Doom.
Emperor Doom.
Yeah. But after that, they showed what is going to be the next Walgreens exclusive figure, a new version of Moonstone. And they have done Moonstone before, but she was part of an SDC exclusive multi-pack a few years back, so she's kind of hard to get a hold of now. And she's also on the new updated female body, which has pinless double joints in the arms and legs. I know nothing about Moonstone. I don't care about her, but like, it looks like a good figure of her.
Yeah. This looks like it'd be a great figure for like modding.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a simple, clean suit with very changeable hair and a very just simple, pretty woman face. Like, I can see someone making a jackpot out of this.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Thing that sucks is they keep giving all the female bodies those weird little hands.
Yeah,
what are you
we're
doing
doing magic hands.
Like, ooh.
I feel like they must have been just really expensive to tool or something, and they have to get their money back.
You know what it looks like? It looks like they're hands that came from a spider lady. They look like wall crawling hands.
They might have. It's entirely possible. But the next thing they showed was a digital render of the first figure in their next Disney Plus wave that's coming, which is a character we haven't even met yet because she's from What If Season 2, Warrior Gamora. I have nothing against this. This is a cool looking design, but I know nothing about the story context for it yet, so whatever.
Yeah.
And then they had a football man who I'd never heard of on before, because apparently him and his son are big Marvel Legends fans and collectors. And they did a little mini interview with them, and they got to unbox / reveal the first figure in the next wave they revealed. A new wave of X-Men Retro Collection figures, Wolverine in a standard issue X-Men costume. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Without a standard issue Wolverine mask.
Well, I mean, when he's wearing that uniform, he doesn't wear a mask.
I know.
I mean, we've already got 70 billion different Wolverines. I don't care for this look. I don't need this look, but hey, if you just want a Wolverine, or you're one of the people that really loves this look, here you go.
Here's the thing: we're also going to get 1,000,001 Wolverines again because of what Ryan Reynolds been posting.
Yeah, like literally the day that came out, everyone in the Legends team tweeted about it, basically saying, "Oh, we're doing figures for that movie."
Because they got to make a Hugh with the fucking costume. They have to.
Mm-hmm. But the next figure in this wave is going to be the long shot from the Mojo multi-pack, just on a single card.
Hell yeah.
Great. Okay.
Fucking love long shot.
Here's the one that got me really excited, though. We're finally getting a new Multiple Man. And he looks great. He looks exactly like how I'd want Multiple Man to look. I think he's on the Vulcan body, and he's going to come with 2 different heads, so it'll make army building a little less conspicuous.
People who make accessories from Marvel Legends, give this guy a fucking coat. Give him the coat. Give him the coat.
And yeah, my standard number for army building is 4, and there just so happen to be 4 on the box art. I guess I'm buying 4 multiple men at some point. Then they showed they're doing a new Dark Phoenix figure, which honestly looks better than the one they put out a few years back. I like the brighter reds and yellows they have on it, but I've never cared for Dark Phoenix as a costume. I hold very strong to my contrarian opinion of the only good costume Jean Grey has ever had is the current one she has right now in the current X-Men book that she's had since the first Hellfire Gala.
I disagree. There have been some Jean Grey costumes that are pretty good, but that is the greatest. There are Jean Grey hasn't had an amazing costume, but she's had some okay good costumes.
Okay. And then they showed Avalanche would also be a new figure in this wave. Classic Avalanche, which is part of their continuing effort to build out the original Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And he looks good. He looks very accurate to that design, but nobody gives a fuck about Avalanche.
No one gives a fuck about this Avalanche.
Kind of looks like an off-brand.
Juggernaut.
Damn it. No.
Peacemaker?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man. Somebody buy this and make a custom of Peacemaker. I want to see what that looks like.
Or just make it do the Peacemaker dance.
Yeah. And then they showed, I think this is the final figure for this wave. There might be one more.
Understand the Avalanche joke I was making. The only Avalanche people actually remember and care about is the one from X-Men Evolution.
Yeah. A lot of people got very up in arms when they did the Mojo pack and there was no new Spiral figure. Here ya fucking go. Retro Collection Spiral. This is a 6-armed female figure with torso articulation. Holy shit, that's amazing from an engineering standpoint alone.
They just decided, fuck all the bad engineering. We're just gonna fix it all in one go.
Everybody who bitched about 6-armed Spider-Man can now shut the hell up because we've proven we can do this.
Yeah,
also
also
she just
6
Who
different
this
weapons, dude.
character
That's
is,
incredible.
but pretty based.
Mhm.
You don't need to know. Look at that.
That
She's
just
just
look,
One of those
she
arms
looks
is
like
a metal
fun,
arm.
She just looks like a fun action figure.
Yeah, she looks like what if we designed a '90s Image character, but it was good.
You know, I was
think
gonna
she
make a stupid
needs
comment
to-
like I can't believe they didn't give her extra hands, but I just see that they did, so fuck me.
Oh my god, you're right. That's awesome.
Though only one of those hands can work with one of both of the two. They're both right hands, but only one of them can work on one of the arms. The other can work on the other two.
Yeah. But then we have a few digital render reveals for the second wave because they basically said they're doing a big push for X-Men next year because it's the 60th anniversary of X-Men. So we're going to be getting 2 waves of Retro Collection next year. And the first figure they showed for the second wave is Storm in a standard issue X-Men uniform. I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. The woman is incapable of having a bad fit.
Yep.
And then kind of one of the biggest surprises of the panel for me, we're getting a new Banshee finally. Yes, it's not Banshee in his classic costume. It's him in a standard issue X-Men uniform. But finally a new Banshee after years of Dwight saying, Banshee will never be in the line because he's one of my least favorite characters and I won't let us do him until I'm ready to retire.
You know what?
To retire.
No, you know what all these standard issue uniforms are great for? A Danger Room display.
Yeah. To answer your question, Buster, Dwight said this was their way of bending that rule.
Ah, okay. Also, just like that's not a Banshee, that's a man.
Yeah, but
then his daughter's name is Siren, so
yeah, and we already have Siren, so it'll be nice to get those 2 on the shelf together. But then speaking of Dwight, they showed that they're doing a bit of a makeup because they did a Strife figure back when they first started doing Hasbro Marvel Legends again, and not a lot of people liked it. But they're doing a new one, and also, if people are interested, they have a Strife helmet ready to go that they could do as a roleplay toy. And Dwight put it on, and Dwight actually looked like a badass in the thing.
Fuck yeah, fucking Strife. Fuck yeah, fucking Strife.
And it looks like a solid figure of him.
Oh my god, I love this asshole.
Love the nipples on that sculpt, gotta say.
The nipples on the sculpt. He is the epitome of dumb shitty 90s Marvel. I love Strife.
Mm-hmm. Then they showed the final animated VHS collection X-Men figure, which is, to nobody's surprise, Cyclops. And I've been very down or indifferent on these. I actually really like how this looks. The shading makes this design look way better than the original Hasbro Legends of it did, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get it because it's not my favorite Cyclops costume. Depending on the day, my favorite Cyclops costume is either Astonishing or the one he's had since Hoxpox. But it's a really good looking figure for what it is. And they said next year they're not going to be doing any more VHS X-Men figures because they're doing VHS 90s Spider-Man figures, starting with a 2-pack of Black Suit Spidey and Carnage. Fucking Kino.
Hell yeah, they look great.
Marvel Legends series Spider-Man 6-inch Marvel Lizard. The Retro Lizard is available on Walmart right now.
Oh shit! Really?
Yep.
Do you have a link, sir? Do you have a link?
Hang on, I'm trying to buy it.
Yeah, I find I don't know why I find saying Marvel Lizard instead of Marvel Legends.
Yeah, we're stopping the podcast to buy a toy right now. Hang on, I'm getting on Walmart.com.
Oh god,
these guys, am I right?
Live components reaction right here, right now. Hey yo, what the fuck?
I'm searching. Okay. Holy shit, he is in stock. Okay. Yeah, fuck it. I'm buying that since it's an exclusive and it's gonna be a pain in the ass to get a hold of later.
Alright. You do what. Also, I didn't watch the new Super Eye Patch World video, I just realized.
Hey. But whatever. Good Marvel Legends so far. So I'm trying to vamp while
they are legendary Marvels.
They're fighting dreamers.
I did dream. That's like the only Naruto song I think like I know.
I do have the next thing ready to go. Hang on.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, Johnny Gargano showed up. And by showed up, I mean they didn't have time to actually show his interview, so they just posted it straight to the YouTube. But in his interview, he revealed that the next Walmart exclusive is going to be first appearance Star-Lord, which is very appropriate because Johnny's son that he just had is named Quill.
Cute. So, Boygo, should we plug stuff while we're like, not we're not gonna end the podcast, just like plug cool stuff.
We'll actually want to hear about real quick.
Watch No Price Podcast on Sundays. Me and Back.
Not our stuff, like other cool creators.
Well, we already plugged Nothing Ordinary by the one, the only, the Hatrico, and Rainbow Heart by Yiggy Evergreen.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through my like YouTube feed to see if I can find any like low subscribe. Well,
there's another one we gotta fucking plug. We gotta plug Kelvin's City Thief Ring.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
A classic fantasy story.
What the fuck? Walmart doesn't let you use PayPal? I gotta go grab my wallet now?
Fuck you.
Yeah, I kind of gave up. Also, like shipping, and I'm...
This guy... these guys got cucked by Walmart. Let's laugh.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Alright, I got my wallet.
I think I may have gotten the name wrong. I think it's City Ring Thief. I don't know. Hold on, let me just fucking go find it on their goddamn fucking Twitter.
Yeah, just put it on the Discord chat so like the audience can see.
Oh yeah, I
It-
forgot the audience are watching the chat right now.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not on Discord.
Okay.
No, like plug. I put the link in the Discord.
I'm trying to. You fucking numpty. I thought you said you were doing it.
I wasn't. I don't. Fine, I'll do it right now. Give me a second.
You goddamn fucking bitch.
You got Walter and Stat or energy
We
right
really
now.
do. All right, here's the link to the webcomic. Apparently, actually, no, wait, they can't find the page.
Oh, that's weird.
Maybe Webtoons is having a day. I don't
Maybe
know.
All right,
Webtoons
order
is having a
confirmed.
day.
I'm good. He'll be here on the 6th, which means I can
and-
talk
just-
about him
the link
on.
was- Okay, I found the
next-
link. It
Yeah,
is called
City
City
Thief Ring.
Ring. Here is the link. Read it.
I mean, it's not like they can click it, you know.
yeah, I know, but like,
Yeah.
if
You
you want
see
to
the art.
painstakingly
All right.
type the link.
There's the art. There's City Thief Ring. There you go.
Well, it's
Yeah.
actually kind of appropriate that we had a little freak out break there. I just realized because that was the last panel of day one.
Yeah, boy.
It's on brand. Thank you, Snowcone.
No problem.
Also, a rapper I've never heard of, but is apparently a big deal, came on and did a freestyle about all the reveals. That was okay.
Murs, big in the hip hop scene. He's been kind of more like, he's kind of like one of those upper indie underground guys. Like, he's part of the underground hip hop scene, but he's more a prominent voice in it. He did do a song with John Cena once.
Oh,
Very interesting.
And before I forget, the thing we missed while the stream was scuffing out, they're doing a Pulse exclusive Daredevil free pack of Bullseye in a look I've never seen before, Elektra in her white costume, and a new red costume Daredevil on the Renew Your Vows body. Finally, thank you, Ryan Ting, fucking Dan Yoon, Dwight Stahl. I've been asking for this for so long, and I'm so happy they're finally doing it. I don't care if it's in a $75 free pack where I only care about one of the figures. I'm getting it.
Could that be Zdarsky Bullseye?
Could be.
AKA Mass Shooter Bullseye?
Oh man, imagine if this had just been straight up a Zdarsky pack. They retooled the Daredevil legs to be baggy pants, and they give us Daredevil Elektra.
Lady, yeah.
I hope
That'd
they
be
do.
cool.
I hope they do that soon. I want classic red costume Elektra as much, but like I also kind of want Daredevil Elektra now.
Such a good look. It is such a classic. Like, at this point in time, like, it's not. There's two Daredevils.
Okay, so
And, like, yeah, that's right.
Are we ready to jump into day 2?
Yes.
Okay, so first up was G.I. Joe, and they started off with some name reveals. And they weren't the same name reveals we got during the preview show, which was really nice. They reminded us about those, but then they said also Snow Serpents, Buzzer, and female Cobra Troopers. People have been asking for Snow Serpents ever since they announced Snow Job was coming. Buzzer is really great because he continues filling out the Dreadnought ranks. I think we only have like 2 or 3 left. But female Cobra Troopers was what got me really excited, because it's another army builder, and it's an army builder we almost never get, despite there being tons of them in the Sunbow cartoon. Like, the only female Cobra Trooper figure there has been before is 25th anniversary style Club G.I. Joe subscription service figures. So to hear that we're getting one in classified style, I am really excited, especially because this line tends to do swappable hair pieces where appropriate. They can give us like a blonde hair piece, a brunette hair piece, and a redhead hair piece for ease of varying up your army building. Anything else?
I'm excited for all the announcements. Snow Serpent's a cool design.
Mm-hmm.
It's to the point where like I don't even give a fuck what they announce. I'm just like, cool, great, pre-order. All right, see you later.
Exactly. Fucking classified just kills it every time. Like they were in my top 5, I think, for PulseCon this year, but they were like of the lower echelon, but that's just because everyone else went so incredibly hard, whereas they were just kind of continuing the stride they've been on all year. Anyway, let's talk about more why that is and actually show some stuff, because they then went on to showing the digital renders for one of the upcoming waves. And we'd seen some of these in grayscale before, but now we got color render for Rock and Roll. And I love how this dude looks. Like he's a bit of a departure from the classic design. He's got more tan in his shirt. He was wearing like a holy green outfit in the original figure. He didn't have tattoos originally, and the face is a bit different than it originally was. But I like all of those changes. The tattoos look badass. Apparently, he has a skull on his hand, and he comes with an alternate hand to do the devil horns. So it's like you can get him in a totally badass rock and roll pose. The addition of the tan on the shirt helps vary up the design visually. And he looks like the goddamn Chad meme, as Boingo pointed out, which is just glorious.
Chad Wojak. He looks like Chad Wojak.
Like I was already sold on this figure when they showed us the grayscale render at Comic-Con, but like, oh man, he looks so good.
I agree. That rock and roll hand is probably one of the coolest things I've seen them slip into this line.
Yeah.
It's real good. It's real good.
Then they showed the color render for Torpedo, who looks very close to his classic design. The only real difference, I think, is all the little patches of red they included, especially on the flippers. I think those were just a straight black in the original figure. But it all looks very good. This isn't a character I really care about. Like, it's probably a skip for me if I'm being perfectly honest, but it looks like a very good update of him.
I'll give you one time of seeing him in a store, and then you'll bring him home.
It's entirely possible, especially because he has my favorite unintentionally funny moment in all of G.I. Joe history. In one of the original Sunbow miniseries, when he shows up to advertise his figure, because they have to get a thing that's underwater, it's like he's the cool uncle who just kind of comes around G.I. Joe every once in a while, and everybody's excited to see him. And they're all shouting his nickname, and his nickname is Pedo.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, there's a solid minute of all these G.I. Joe characters going, "Hey, Pedo, we haven't seen you in forever. This is awesome. Welcome back." And it's just the funniest thing in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, looks like a solid figure. The next thing they showed was color render of Copperhead, who looks like such good reuse, in my opinion, because I think those boots are new. The head is definitely new, but I think he's got the Viper legs and the entire upper body of Crocmaster, which is those are all really good parts, and they work really well for him. Other than that, nothing much to say, in my opinion, because I don't know much about Copperhead, except for the fact that he comes with a fucking Megatron gun as one of his accessories, which is so cool.
It's actually just a pretty common hunting revolver.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Did I miss any jokes I could make?
You missed me talking about how Torpedo's nickname is Pedo in the Sunbow cartoon.
Ah! Oh, no, wait, that's not funny!
It's a little funny.
It's unintentionally funny. But then they showed the big dog, the fan favorite character. The fan favorite character everybody's been waiting for, and we've seen this render in grayscale before, but finally getting to see him in color. Classified Shipwreck looks perfect, in my opinion. Like, I know some people don't like that Paulie has a peg leg, or that he's wearing jeans when he's a character that's going to be around water a lot. But I love him. I think he's a perfect update. I love the swappable hair piece. I love that they gave him both tattoos, and he's got like chest hair detailing. He comes with a freaking flintlock pistol. How can you not love that?
So I will say the jeans thing, while I thought it was cool that they have like a little wash on it, I did immediately think it was weird, because like that's supposed to be his naval uniform. And they don't wear jeans, they wear like these weird bell-bottom pants.
Yeah.
Not to be a actually guy, but I was listening to a G.I. Joe news channel stream that was reacting to all this in between us watching the show and recording this. Somebody chimed in on the chat there who was in the Marines or the Navy in the 90s, excuse me, And apparently people in the American Navy in the 90s wore jeans. So it's kind of accurate, but also not, because
Here's the thing. It doesn't need to be accurate because he's just a yacht rock looking dude.
True.
He just looks like he's hanging out, listening to Jimmy Buffett.
And I mean, like, that's his whole character, is like, he's a womanizer who learns to be monogamous. Shipwreck's a good Shipwreck's a good character, but he's like clumsy in that charming 80s way.
Like, if you want to modernize it, maybe just like
Make him poly.
Yeah, exactly. Just like have him be open about that.
Oh my god. Shipwreck is the Captain Jack Harkness of G.I. Joe.
No. He walks up to a person and goes like, "Hello, I'm Shipwreck. This is my parrot Polly. By the way, I'm also Polly."
Ah! Yeah!
That's good. That's good.
The next thing they showed was in-hand painted prototypes of the stretch goal figures for the Hiss tank, the Gunner, and the Cobra Commander. God, these things look good. I am so gutted I had to cancel mine because of car issues.
Yeah.
I want the Cobra Command.
A lot of people are thinking they might release the Cobra Commander with a different deco separately later, but I'm not
They
counting
said
on
they
it.
would.
Oh no, they gotta. He's the face of when people think of G.I. Joe, they think of the Cobra Commander. So I'm like,
They said they would.
Where did they say they would?
In like the announcement video thing, they were like, yeah, you know, they made a comment about. They're like, yeah, this is the only way to get this Cobra Commander with this print on his chest. He will not be available in any other way. So
that implies.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Also,
think they're even more direct than that, but
Yeah, but I also love the thigh-high boots on the Gunner.
Yeah. And like those weapons she comes with, she's so hench.
Like a straight-up goon. Just good goon vibes.
they didn't show off my favorite little detail about these guys,
Which is
the little punchy gauntlets.
oh
that they
yeah.
come with.
But I mean, like they showed that extensively with the driver, and she just happens to be coming with them too. So, but
We're getting 4 figures with that fucking Hiss tank, dude.
that's so crazy. But the next thing they showed was the figures that were actually going up for pre-order today, which is the next wave of classified series. First of all, straight up repaint, Slaughter's Marauders Barbecue, which looks pretty good, very accurate to the old toy. I'm not a huge barbecue fan, and personally, I don't like this deco very much. But it's good, and it's there for the people who want it. Also, apparently, they couldn't get the copyright for Slaughter's Marauders back, so on the box for this guy, it says The Mad Marauders, which is honestly more badass sounding.
The only thing for me, they're so bad. They got 2 axes.
The only thing for me is that it's missing, like, the colors are right, but he's also supposed to have a very particular camo on there, and it kind of sucks that it's not there.
Yeah, it's just kind of a green.
Like, let me look up Slaughter's Marine. Wow, I had to type in SLA, and it's like, did you mean this?
Google knows you too well.
I think he looks fun. He looks like a fun, like, early 90s toy.
But then they showed
You know what?
another...
I'm wrong.
Oh, what?
Yeah, there's 2 different Slaughter's Marauders.
What's
the original
picture in the
ones.
That's pictures so the audience can see. Because we're being
no.
considerate.
Hang on.
Alright, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck me. Fuck the world.
Dang it, it's going to dark arc.
Alright, here we go.
I've gone through many a dark arc, apparently.
I was about to grab a picture of him.
Oh yeah, dude, I've witnessed a few of them.
Everyone can see her on 29%.
Like the goggles ones. Oh.
Yeah, he kind of looks closer to the original one, but I can see why you'd want the 25th anniversary look there.
Yeah, no, he's identical to the original one, essentially, in color way. Yeah, the newer one has the right colors, but they're all wearing that particular camo, so fuck me. I guess it's even... Whatever, dude. Fine. They did a good job.
I guess you just don't know your toys that well, buddy.
I never had O-Ring Joes.
Well, here's
I
a
had
toy
the
you know
other
very
ones.
well
I guess I did have O-Ring Joes, but I never
because
had those old ones.
it's a repaint of what you've been saying is going to be your toy of the year. The Crimson Bat. When they showed the color render of this a few months back, I was like, that looks good. I don't know if I need a bunch of those, but I might get one to be like my Bat squad leader. Now that we've seen it in color and like all the shading there is on this thing, and like how much the head pops and the battle damaged head pops in comparison to the original one, I'm tempted to get as many of these as I got of the original Bat. This looks so good.
I only want 2 of them because they keep making it sound like it's supposed to go next to your boy. Yeah.
They did say it's the exact same shade of red as Tomax and Xamot, which is nice. But like I love all the like kind of gray dusty shading there is on the arms and legs, and even on the robot arms. Like it looks like an actual improvement on the original, which I didn't think was possible. The next one they showed was Falcon, and this is the only one in the wave that looks a little weak in my opinion. Like the body and the accessories are pretty good. The face looks a little bland. I'm not in love with the face.
I think it's cool. Let me look at it again. I mean, I get the feeling of the face just because it kind of also looks like got a little bit of what was the other one? Stalker vibes, and a little bit of Hawk, or not Hawk, Flint vibes. So it's like a mixture of Stalker and Flint. But I think it's fun. Like, you're not gonna really pay attention to that kind of detail whenever it's standing in the army of Joes in their various green outfits and non-green outfits.
The box art also made him look like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have pictures of the box art in front of me, and some of these had really good box art. But yeah, I like his shotgun. How the stock like completely folds up. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's essentially like a Spaz 12, but has a wooden what do you call those? Like the front grip, the pump has a wooden pump.
Yeah. Then they showed Outback, who again, I saw this guy as a render, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll just get the Tiger Force version. I love how this guy looks in hand. There's just something about the way light bounces off the physical version of him that looks way better than he did as a render. He just looks like a really fun action figure, even though I don't know really anything about the character. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 animated appearances of him because he doesn't have a lot of animated appearances. He's more of a comics character, apparently.
I mean, you've been reading the comics.
For me, this is the one that I did skip because I already have the other one pre-ordered.
Fair enough.
I don't have a need for 2 of them, and I know you don't care for the Tiger Stripe stuff, and I super fucking care for the Tiger Stripe aesthetic.
Here's the thing: I like everything about Tiger Force Outback except the big tiger face on his shirt.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that he's got survival on his shirt. Like, that's the dumbest shit. Like, I know it's silly. It's like survival. It's like, what are you about, man? It's like, you already know.
I like that in a goofy '80s way. Like the like that's just a step back from the tiger on the shirt of the other one, in my opinion. But then they showed the final figure in this wave, Covergirl, who I hadn't realized when they showed the digital renders of her. She's got a lot of Lady J reuse, but Lady J is a great figure. So that's not really a problem. And also I really like how all the kind of like character they put into her with the accessories, because obviously there's a lot to CoverGirl's character that kind of doesn't gel with a 6-inch line as much as it did with a 3 3/4-inch line, because she's a mechanic and she had a vehicle that was very specifically hers, and that vehicle is too big to do in classified unless they want to do it as a HasLab. So they gave her a little iPad with the blueprints of that vehicle on it, and they gave her a wrench as an accessory, which is just very nice little characterful touches, in my opinion. And the base figure looks really good. Something about her face looks really striking.
Awe-striking, in fact.
He looks a little bit like Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, the artwork especially her box art. I saw people like GI Joe fans complaining about it, like it looks like false advertising because it's so cutesy. I loved how cutesy it was. I was like, I would keep that box because that's like my kind of art style. Um, but then they did a quick rundown of Sir Pentor because he's the PulseCon exclusive, and they hadn't really done one on a stream yet. They did a rundown at SDCC, but we hadn't seen him in full here. And I don't have anything else to say about this guy that I haven't already said. He looks great. Cody pre-ordered one for himself and one for me. So I'm very much looking forward to getting mine.
Yep. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I don't care what it costs. I mean, I'm a little stinky on that 80, but like, I literally have Serpentor. I have like the deluxe release or whatever of like him and his chariot, like still in box. I've always loved that design and like that chariot and everything like that. I'm not gonna not have.
I love the design and concept. The original figure is a little doofy for my taste, but I love this update. This update looks perfect.
Talking about like the 30th anniversary release they did or whatever it was, back when they were still heavy in 3 3/4.
I meant the original O-ring figure. I haven't looked at the 30th anniversary in a long time. Hang on.
I only own one original O-ring figure, and it's Duke. No, it's Wild Bill. Sorry, I got it at a yard sale.
Oh yeah, no, he looks great. I would buy that 30th anniversary figure. Wow. Okay. Then Avalon Hill had their panel, and we were all kind of down on it going in, except for Boingo, who was just like optimistic for the sake of optimism. I didn't realize that the entire panel was just them going to be discussing the fact that they're doing a campaign for a new expansion of Heroescape. Heroescape is something that, like, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for, but I used to see the ads all the time on TV as a kid. So, like, it's something I clearly remember when you show me, like, the logo or something like that.
Yep.
And I don't have any images specifically of it, but you can just kind of scroll around the campaign page there.
Yeah, I'll pop it down for a second into the feed so people can see it.
This looks like phenomenal bang for your buck as far as a board game or even a HasLab in general goes, because it's coming with a shit ton of miniatures that all look really good and really cool. Like, it sucks they're not fully painted like the original line, but like this is targeted at adult collectors and they're going to want to paint those themselves anyway. A bunch of tiles that are super accurate and backwards compatible, and
also mentioned future compatible, so they're hoping this is successful and they can kind of revive the franchise.
Yeah, it looks great. Some of the miniatures they showed, I was like, yo, if they made that as a 6-inch action figure, I would buy it in a heartbeat. But
and I've actually did a little bit of looking and researching on the Heroescape subreddit, and some people there's, for lack of a better way to describe it, there's some back and forth between whether it is worth it or it is worth it and we should get it. And so far it seems kind of like the consensus is, if you do the math, it is worth it, because if you compare it to what the original box set, which is basically what this kind of is meant to be, it's a new box set. It's not just like it's brand new versions. It's brand new starter set. If you compare it to the original starter set, everything you get, it's about comparable. You get a little bit more with this one. They're unpainted, which they do consider, but the original one, if you adjust it for current day inflation, is about $350. So, like, this is $100 less. They are unpainted. So there's that, but like, pretty much it's a better price considering what the original cost, what this is aiming for, what this is doing, and so far it seems like people are kind of like semi on board, but also there is the secondhand market is also heavily, I wouldn't say inflated, but like there's a lot of demand for it. So just individual figure sets go for like $100 some odd.
Okay.
for like a
I
team.
also think the backer goal is incredibly conservative for this, just comparing it to other HasLabs I've seen. I mean, they only need 8,000 backers. Typically, like the ones I've followed are like 9 or 10,000 backers to fund.
Yeah, and the stretch goals for it are basically individual hero characters. One at 10,000, one at 12, one at 14, one at 15, and one at 16 thousand.
Okay.
I'm on
so
their
yeah,
page right now, so I just have it open so I can pick up that information.
But yeah, this thing looks really good. I'm not going to be backing it because I'm not a huge board game guy, but like I think it looks really fun as a non-board game guy. And if you are a board game guy or girl or them, you should probably look into getting this if you can.
If I had the money, I'd be getting it just so we all have it. At least one person would, so we can play it one day.
But then they did a Magic the Gathering panel, which was they talked a little bit about new stuff, but it was mostly just the same stuff they talked about with the Transformers crossover. So I don't think we need to go too deep
They
into
also
that.
announced a new secret layer involving chibi art for classic Planeswalkers,
Okay.
which are major characters in the Magic lore.
But then they moved on to Indiana Jones, which was kind of like I didn't realize it, but I think this was my most anticipated panel just because we hadn't seen anything from this line before. Like, and I thought starting lineup would be that way too, but they showed the digital renders on Twitter the week beforehand. They didn't show us anything about this Indiana Jones line until this panel, which was pretty smart, honestly, and feels like a bit of a learned experience kind of thing, because this is just a bunch of people from the Star Wars Black Series team doing an Indiana Jones line, which feels entirely appropriate. Like, the main guy behind it is the head designer of Black Series. I forget his name, but everybody was like, holy crap, it's him when he came on screen. And also I just found him a little funny looking because he kind of reminds me of current John Cena. But they ran down that there's going to be 3 separate lines. There is going to be a very kids-focused line similar to Star Wars Mission Fleet that I think they called the what was it?
Adventure Series.
No, that's what the adult line is.
Oh.
They didn't show anything from it. They just said what the name was. But like,
I'm trying. Hold on. I'll look it. I'll see if I can find it while you're pulling up the next thing.
Okay. They also said that there was going to be a retro collection, which I'm gonna try and find an image of real quick so I can remember the name. The Adventures of Indiana Jones, which is just basically like they do for the Star Wars retro figures. It's remakes of the original figures from the 80s. But most importantly to me, they are, of course, doing a 6-inch 1/12 scale Indiana Jones line called the Adventure Series. And the entire first wave is based on Raiders of the Lost Ark. And they're probably gonna go through each movie, I would think, and build up to figures for the new movie. They said they have, like, what was it, 25 figures already planned and in pre-production. But the first wave is 5 figures. And of course, the first figure is Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, who looks perfect. Like, if I was gonna expect a Black Series figure of Indiana Jones, this is what I would expect. It's exactly what I'd want. And this is the one figure from this line I can definitely say I'm going to be getting, because Indiana Jones is an iconic character. It'd be nice just to have him on the shelf.
Yep. He looks great. It's just amazing.
The
Also,
only thing I'm kind of surprised they didn't talk. Oh, go ahead, Boingo.
I'm just putting this out because you were trying to remember it before we get too far. Worlds of Adventures to Kids line.
Okay. But the only thing they didn't show with this is whether or not the hat's removable. I'm sure it's going to be, but I just found that funny that they never were like, oh, look here, the hat comes off, and this is a good look at the head. But they did talk about, like, hey, we've made like 5 or 6 Han Solos for Black Series. We know how to capture Harrison Ford's likeness now. Which was good, because Harrison Ford for years was notoriously hard to make figures of. The next figure they showed, and these are and this and Indy are the only 2 that actually went up for pre-order today, was Tot, who is kind of the lead Nazi from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't feel like I super need this guy. I don't really remember his character, except for the one thing they gave him an alternate head for. He's the guy who gets melted by the Ark, which is very cool that they included those accessories. Otherwise, I think this guy would just be like nice background fodder if you're doing figure photography.
Yeah, he looks great.
Chris,
Yes.
go.
No, that's it. I just think he looks good.
I was just gonna be like, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I don't want to say it'd be cool to get like some 1940s style like soldiers of either side, but I think it would be cool of that potentially.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, you could like get a Hawk for an American soldier, not Hawk, Falcon from GI Joe, because he looks like a World War II era thing with the boot things.
El Buto thingos.
Yeah.
But then they went into the rest of the wave, which wasn't going out for pre-order the next day. Salwa is going to be in the line, and they made a big deal out of all the figures in the first wave are completely unique tooling at this point. I barely remember Salwa from the movie. I haven't seen Raiders in a long time. And honestly, I probably wouldn't get this guy unless he was like on super clearance, just because he doesn't look like a particularly interesting action figure to me.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem with Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm. And someone I feel kind of similarly about, in fact, you had to jog my memory about this guy, Boingo, Bollock. He looks a little more interesting. I like how much deco he has with all the different patterns on his clothes and the freaking infinity necklace he's wearing. But I completely forgot that he was like the big bad of that movie.
Yeah, he was the antagonist archaeologist.
Mm-hmm. But one figure that did kind of win me over, because I was sure they were gonna do her, but I was kind of like, I don't think I really need her. Even though if you're one of the people, because there's weirdly derision about this, like even though I knew people don't like Crystal Skull, apparently there's people who just fully don't acknowledge Crystal Skull as canon, which I think is a bit silly. This is the woman who ends up with Indy in the end, Marion. And I think this looks like a very good figure of her. They captured her likeness really well. I love that she's coming with the monkey from the movie, and it's got articulation and photo real on it. And the thing that actually won me over fully, she comes with the frying pan. And like that's one of my favorite moments from the movie is her hitting a guy over the head with the frying pan. And also just like I don't think there's ever been a 1/12 scale frying pan accessory before. If you're a figure photographer, this unlocks a bunch of possibilities for you.
Yeah.
But then they showed the packaging for the line, which looks pretty in line with most of the plastic-free stuff they've been doing. I don't dislike it, but it's not very visually exciting to me.
Is this the new? Is this the first bit of packaging Hasbro done that's never had a plastic variant? Like, didn't have one before? Like, this is the first?
Yeah, because this is the first wave of this line, period.
And any other toy they've done, it has had plastic packaging.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, I'm sure it's not the first time they put a toy in a box, but
you know what the fuck I'm talking about, you asshole.
Nope.
But
fuck you.
Then we found out the other big thing about this line. Every wave is going to have a build-a artifact. And of course, for the first wave, it's going to be the Ark of the Covenant, which I think is a brilliant touch. The sculpt on this thing looks very good. I don't love the paint. I wish it had a wash, like a black wash on it. So, like, apparently they said it's covered in gold paint, so it can be extra shiny. But like, I feel like it needs a wash to bring out some of the detailing in that sculpt.
I can also understand why they wouldn't do that because it is a build a thing. And you don't want that to be like super breakable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Scuffable.
But Then they showed the only figure they showed for the retro collection. Of course, it was Indy, and as I understand it, this is very accurate to the original figure. I didn't even know Indiana Jones had a toy line back in the day, so I'm completely new to this. But evidently, they took extra special care because the thumbs used to constantly snap off on those figures, making it impossible for them to hold weapons. They took extra special care to making sure the plastic was very strong in the thumbs on these versions. So that's a nice touch, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they showed their first prop replica from the line, which they're similar to how Black Series does, like lightsabers and helmets as part of the Black Series. Adventure Series is going to have prop replicas, and the first one they're doing is the headpiece of the Staff of Roa. They're not doing a full staff, but it's solid. It looks like a good kind of like mantle tchotchke. I like that it has like you put it in this specific hole and it lights up. That's a cool little touch. But I never see myself buying this, honestly.
It's neat. It's nice. It's the easy first thing to do if they're gonna do any more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I want to bring up about the whole presentation is they did not shy away from the extra Indiana Jones material. Like, they fully acknowledged, like, oh yeah, Adventures of Young Indiana Jones.
Yeah, the lead guy went on a whole Adventures in Indiana Jones rant, which was awesome.
Also the books and all that kind of stuff. He brought up fucking deep Indiana Jones lore of like, oh yeah, no, his wife, how he met her. And it's just like, oh wow, okay.
This guy is a fan.
And it just makes me think, oh, this isn't just a toy line they're doing to capitalize on the original movies and the new movie they're making. They have plans for Indiana Jones.
And like of course the reason it exists is because Disney wants Indiana Jones merch. They want so when the movie comes out, people like they want Indiana Jones fever to hit, but the creators have legit passion for Indiana Jones and they have plans, you know?
Oh yeah.
They want to make it.
I can definitely see Disney going like, all right, cool. All the Indiana Jones stuff is selling. The movie did okay. Let's greenlight a cartoon on Disney Plus. Let's go ahead and license it out for novels and video games. Like, imagine, like, hey, what was one of the most popular game franchises for years? It was Uncharted.
Oh my god. But don't give it to that studio.
No.
Give it to someone like Insomniac.
Naughty Dog's not gonna.
Okay, actually, someone is working on a Indiana Jones game, but it was like Ubisoft or No, it was Bethesda. Bethesda was making Indiana Jones game.
Oh no!
It's one of their like Arcane Studios or something. The ones who make the good Bethesda games.
Dishonored.
Yeah, like those. Let me look this up.
No, they got it. They good. They're fuck yeah.
Let me look at the specific Indiana Jones Bethesda. It's like let me check the studio. Machine Games.
They're the ones who did the new Wolfenstein.
Yeah, the Wolfenstein guys. They're it makes sense.
Well, Wolfenstein is about fighting Nazis, so I'd say that's good hands for Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the future's looking bright for Indy.
Yeah, even if like I just hope the movie's like I just hope it's the end of Harrison Ford's run and they just like give it to some new guy and just.
Here's the thing. I don't want to. Here's the thing.
Shia LaBeouf back.
No, I don't want them to keep going to the future. I want Indiana Jones to just be like a weirdo fucking American James Bond, where it's just 1,000,001 story set in the same 20 years. They just changed the actor.
That'd be cool.
That would be pretty based.
But that was the end of the Indiana Jones panel, and they then segued into the final panel of the show, which was Star Wars. And they really bounced around with Star Wars. It was like, here's some vintage collection, here's some Black Series, here's something else, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to try my level best to keep up here. Obviously, a lot of the reveals were themed around the Andor show. So the first thing we saw was Vintage Collection, Andor, Cassian Andor. That is certainly a man in a jacket.
And we're going to see a lot of men in jacket during this recap.
I mean, that's the Star Wars aesthetic.
Yeah. They also showed vintage collection Val Sartha. I'm assuming she was in the first 3 episodes, but I don't remember her at all.
You don't?
She looks
No,
like the
I think
protagonist
she's
of
in the
Horizon
fourth.
Zero Dawn.
Oh, she's in the forest scenes? Okay.
She's in the 4th episode, but
Oh, okay.
she also doesn't look like that. She's wearing a different outfit.
Maybe she'll have this outfit by the finale. Then they showed regular Black Series Andor, which is just a straight re-release of the PulseCon exclusive Andor without the droid, which it's something they've done before. They did that with their Clone Wars Cad Bane, but it kind of sucks because honestly, that droid is the most interesting part of this figure for me. Like, I really love that they took the time early in the panel, which we don't have any images of, to show like, hey, this droid isn't just a block of plastic. It can telescope up and down like it does in the show, and I thought that was kind of cool. Also, just showing more of the Black Series plastic-free packaging, which I honestly kind of like. I think it's the second best out of any of the plastic-free boxes we've seen, because it's just the Black Series packaging, but they put cardboard where the window used to be and put a picture of the figure there, which I think is perfectly acceptable. They then showed Bix, who I know for a fact is in the first few episodes, but I only remembered her based on, oh yeah, I remembered that outfit and that face. The character left no impact on me, and honestly, the name is kind of stupid, even by Star Wars standards.
As we were watching, I made the comment that it sounds like it could be a racial slur.
A little bit, yeah.
You damn dirty pics, you know? Ugh.
Yeah. But
It's just not like big B,
I mean,
big bullocks, big, you know.
There's a character named Biggs. Like,
Yeah.
Biggs Darklighter or whatever.
Big the cat!
Yeah, he was like Luke's senpai in the original cut. But then they showed Stellan Skarsgård's character, whose name is Luthen. This looks like a really good figure of Stellan Skarsgård. I love how the likeness turned out, but I all I could think looking at it was just like, there's going to be a million Marvel Legends customs of this thing.
Yep.
But then they showed, I think this is the final Andor figure for Black Series. Mon Mothma from the show, which I think this is our first Mon Mothma in Black Series. Looks pretty good. Looks fairly accurate to what I've seen of her from the show, because she wasn't in the first 3 episodes, and that's all I've watched. But I have no interest in getting this version of Mon Mothma. The only Mon Mothma I would want to buy, and that's only after I've gotten like a lot of other characters from the original trilogy, is the original trilogy version.
Man.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't seen. Go.
I will say a lot of them are uninteresting. I do want that fucking droid.
Mhm.
I'm sure the articulation on Cassian isn't bad, but I just don't know if I want to get that 2-pack or not.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get, like, I know it fits in with the aesthetic, but at the same time, like, it's just a wave full of people in clothes. It's not even like I was expecting in the first wave, like, I was hoping for like one of those Union police dudes. Like, that would have been cool.
I think
I mean, there were a lot of interesting
one of them is
things.
like a Target exclusive.
Stinky, even more
Yeah.
stinky.
Yeah.
I have not seen Andor. I'm gonna watch it, but
I like it.
Then they threw it over to a interview with several current Star Wars actors, that being Dee Bradley Baker, the voice of every clone in animation ever, and oh god, I'm blanking on her
Also,
name.
the voice of Perry the Platypus.
Yes.
we're not talking about that though.
And I'm blanking on the other 2 actors' names. I feel terrible. But Omega's voice actress and the
Omega.
actor for, I'm sorry.
Omega.
And the face actor for Axe Wolves in Mandalorian. And it was just like a nice little 10-minute segment of talking to these people about, you're part of Star Wars, isn't that cool? Look, here's your action figure, isn't that exciting? And like, I'm describing it in a very bland way, but honestly, I always love seeing actors get their action figures. It's very wholesome to me, just on an inherent level. And also, we hadn't seen much of the Axe Wolves figure yet before, so this was kind of our first really good look at it. And they did show a nice promotional shot of it. It looked good. But
That is a Mandalorian.
then they went into the Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Collection, which we kind of knew was coming, but this was like their big rollout of it. And it's a lot of stuff I really don't care about, and one thing that I think is kind of cool but sucks that we're getting it this way. So the first wave is the Biker Scout, the 900th release of this Biker Scout mold. Lando in Skiff Guard disguise, Endor Han, Endor Leia.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on real quick. Real tangent.
Okay.
People who are getting multiple man, just buy this version of Han Solo and use that jacket.
I hadn't thought of that. That's a good idea. And
then you have multiple man from Agents of Next Wave.
Yeah. And the one original figure in Wave 1, because all of these are re-releases of figures we've gotten before, we're finally getting Wicket. And that's good. That's great. That's very exciting. He's the one Ewok I think everybody would want. However, it sucks we're getting him this way because he's going to be on a retro card and $25. And look at how much he doesn't fill out that card.
Oof.
Like, those things are technically cards?
Yeah. It's two pieces of cardboard sandwiched together on the plastic bubble.
Oh.
Because it's meant to emulate the original Kenner toy.
Just call it like classics. Like I don't know.
The term Hasbro has always used is retro collection, but fans just shorten that to retro card.
That just collection and card, whatever. I'm just done nitpicking this stuff.
But I think Wicket looks really good. It sucks that we're gonna have to pay that much for him, but I am honestly kind of tempted to get him just because like it's Wicket. It's a kind of iconic original trilogy character.
This just make me wondering if they're gonna make like a Willow toy line.
That would be so awesome. But the next thing they showed was a big old multi-pack of the entire Cantina band for the Vintage Collection, because we just got them in Black Series as two different figures that each came with like half the instruments, so you could army build them either way. But in the Vintage Collection, it's just going to be a straight-up big multi-pack, which I think is very good, very smart. But I'm not super into Vintage Collection.
Hey, you got to get that jizz though.
Yeah, got to get that jizz. Then they showed pipeline reveals for Vintage Collection, starting off with Hunter from the Bad Batch, who looks pretty solid. And then just photo and name reveals of Return of the Jedi Darth Vader, Weequay, a random guy from the background of the Nikto Skiff Guard from Return of the Jedi.
Now that sounds like a racist thing.
Yeah. And freaking Yak Face. They're doing a new figure of Yak Face.
Okay, Yak Face sounds racist. Well,
Star Wars has a lot of things that just sound fucking racist.
These images in like the pipeline, it looks like just have you seen them?
Yeah.
Fucking scruffy looking Nerf herders, dude.
The original, that sounds a little racist.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the fingering down the modal node seems like a nice pack to just have and like put on a desk or something.
Yeah, that looks like a little display unto its own, which is nice. But just speaking of displays unto its own, they're also going to be doing a Vintage Collection Endor Bunker playset, which I think is kind of awesome just because, like, there's a lot of iconic like little moments and character beats from Return of the Jedi that take place in front of that Fae. But that was it for Vintage Collection Pipeline. They then moved on to pipeline reveals for the Black Series 40th anniversary, Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary retro collection. God, Hasbro has mouth-worthy line names now.
I'm just like the word pipeline is like, man, like whoever's doing the Mario movie toys, because you know there's gonna be them.
The
like,
pipeline collection. But we're getting
looks like every figure in the Mario toy line looks like the character except Mario. He just looks like Chris Pratt wearing a Mario costume.
But we're getting Return of the Jedi Luke, and it's going to be the new body that they used for that Mandalorian figure. A Return of the Jedi Darth Vader that's going to have a removable helmet. R2-D2, and they were very clear about saying this will be a new mold because there's been a huge problem with the Black Series since the get-go that the astromech is too small. The astromech body they've been using since Wave 1 is too small. We needed a bigger one, and they made it very clear you're finally getting that new body. And R2-D2, even though there's been a bunch of releases of him, is one of the kind of rarer and more expensive aftermarket figures. So this one's going to sell like hotcakes, and I'm personally really excited for it because R2-D2 was one of the first Star Wars designs I fell in love with, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. But
was it too small? I thought it was originally too big.
I've always heard it's too small. It could be the other way around. I don't know. It's out of scale. We'll put it that way. But there's the final figure they pipelined is they're going to be doing a re-release of the Imperial Guard, which that's a badass figure, the original version. So, great to get it again. They did another Vintage Collection pipeline reveal of the female.
How many pipes can you line?
There were a lot for Star Wars.
Let me show you.
The female Tusken Warrior from Book of Boba Fett is coming to Vintage Collection. And then they did some Black Series Boba. Oh, I see. They were going by piece of media. Then they did Black Series Boba Fett pipeline reveals, where we're getting the Pike troop builder, basically, and Cad Bane. I'm so excited for that Cad Bane. And
he was too small. R2 was too small.
Oh, okay. Okay. But
grab your R2-D2 off the shelf.
No, I never bought one because the sizing was wrong.
Okay.
I just remember having a problem with the sizing. Yeah, it was too small. I used to think it was too big, but that just means that we're gonna get endless astromechs, which thank God I've been waiting. Waiting.
Your body is ready.
I love astromechs, man. Also pipeline reveal Book of Boba Fett, the Tusken Warrior Chieftain. I don't super care about that design, but okay. I know there's people who are. And that was it. That was we're finally done. That's everything they revealed at PulseCon. That's all the news. Overall, I think it was a great show. Not a massive, but a marked improvement from last year. If I can go to my Twitter real quick, I will say my ranking of the panels.
I'd say it really showed that they're really starting to listen to fans for a lot of things. Yeah. They even stated as much.
From best to worst, I think it was... Okay, I'll go from worst to best, actually.
Yeah.
Fortnite, Magic the Gathering, starting lineup, Avalon Hill, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, G.I. Joe, Marvel, Transformers, Power Rangers. That's right, I'm saying it. Power Rangers won PulseCon this year.
And that's pretty impressive because, like, we've been talking a lot, like, the Power Rangers fandom is Power Rangers fandom.
This has been a bit of a rough year for Power Rangers getting streams and stuff.
Yeah, well, that, and also it's just, like, I've always seen Power Rangers as, like, I'm not really part of the Hasbro brands, like, but this, like, really cemented, this is a Hasbro franchise, we're doing Hasbro things, we're doing cool things, And like, I will admit, probably the only thing I didn't like, which is more of like a personal thing, but it was still really funny, was them like cucking us out of like what Sentai they were adapting, or like details of Cosmic Fury, and like
Yeah,
having
because
make you,
the interview cut out of the live stream. You had to go watch the full interview VOD for that.
yeah, which like that was a bit lame. Not gonna lie, but like either
It was a
way,
good interview. I listened to it later that night.
yeah, I like the bits I saw are really good, but like it just like I wish they just like focused on like the key details to get just so like I wouldn't have to go on Twitter to see what the Cosmic Fury suits look like. But yeah, I'm very happy with this PulseCon. I really only care about Power Rangers, but like the other stuff was pretty cool.
But
like
guys, you know what my favorite thing about this PulseCon was?
spending it all with you guys.
Yeah, I wasn't I wasn't sitting in my my little janitor's closet at work watching this on my phone. I took the day off and I sat and I watched this in front of my nice computer with you guys over Discord, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, we need to, man, Boygo, we should do that for when E3 comes back.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, because they are bringing back E3 next year, I think.
Cody, you've been a little quiet during this overall segment. You have anything else to say?
No, I'd just say that I think for me, even though it was a pipeline reveal, it's great to see that they're doing a proper R2 again.
Yeah.
That could only mean good things. I buy the robots before anything else when it comes to the Black Series line, honestly, anyways. But outside of that, I mean, for me, it's probably Transformers that hit the hardest for me. I don't think you guys understand how. I mean, Hot Shot's great, and the potential that Armada Prime is amazing, but I really do love the weaponizer gimmick and the fossilizer gimmick, and the fact that they're continuing that with like an army of like fucking.
I mean, people can go back and check out old episodes of our shows. You used to go on long tangents about the new weaponizers you would get.
Dude, I just can't comprehend how fucking sick it is. Like, you could just put the 2 bike fronts on the front of that. Like, it's gonna be sick. Absolutely sick. It's the new and unknown for Transformers, and that's where I like to see that shit go. I like to get some stand-ins, some classic looking ones, the this is this character, here it is on the shelf ones, and then I like to get some ones that are a little out there, a little bit different. I think nobody should fear the unique and different.
Yeah.
Chris, who does that all the time.
Boingo, I think it's pretty obvious that your favorite thing was Marvel, but do you want to just kind of elaborate on that feeling?
It's continuing like strong things, and it's also what they also didn't just focus on like MCU stuff, which as a comics fan, it's just like, give me the weirdo comic shit. Give me the weirdos like Orb. And like the Ghost Rider stuff is all doing really good stuff. All the multiple themed packs are amazing. Just getting good characters and good looks and interesting things out there. One thing I'm surprised about, and it's just maybe because I like board games, is literally Heroescape. The Avalon Hill section, I genuinely enjoyed it. Everything looked really cool.
That whole section was just so fun because me and Cody went into that being like, oh, whatever. I guess this is kind of like just hang out and wait for the rest of its time. And then like over the course of it, we were just progressively going more like, oh man, this looks cool. Oh shit, this looks really cool. Oh man. Oh wow. Oh god. Yeah, let's go. And you were
ready to like doing this all through Discord was my idea, so
thank you, Buster.
And I mean, like you said at the beginning of the Avalon Hill section, I was the only one who was like optimistic about it, and I had no idea what was going to happen. But it genuinely looks like a fun new thing that they're trying to really bring back, and it could really do well if they do it right. And one thing I was just a little surprised about is there was no nerf this year. There was just no nerf.
I mean, there was.
I mean, there was a little bit of. We completely forgot. They showed a G.I. Joe themed Nerf blaster during that panel, which looked pretty cool. But you're right, there was no dedicated Nerf panel.
So I guess it was nothing.
Also, a bit of an oof to oh my god! I just realized that joke. Wow. But also a bit of an oof to you. There was no Ghostbusters panel this year. I guess they're just done with Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's a shame, but like,
What else can they do right now?
Yeah, I mean, they can make more of different things. I guess. I don't know.
Other than the Extreme Ghostbusters, which they're too fucking scared.
Extreme Ghostbusters would be fun.
Extreme enough.
Real Ghostbusters would be neat. Like a revival of like the real Ghostbusters and all the different ghost toys they made in some way.
That.
Yeah. Did they make a Vigo the Carpathian?
I don't think so.
No, they fucking didn't.
Oh man, that sucks. Vigo would have been great for like also putting into other lines too.
Vigo the Carpathian would have been neat. They already did Afterlife.
Did they do everything from Afterlife?
They did the main kids, and I think they did Paul Rudd.
I don't remember them doing Paul Rudd. I know they did the Old Busters, and they did Ghost Egon.
They didn't do Paul Run, but they did do Egon.
Yeah, so there's like
they should do like a 2-pack of Paul Rudd and the mom to finish the line out.
I'm fucking your mom pack.
There's 2 people wearing regular clothes. People are gonna go fucking nuts for this.
Here's the thing: you can easily get a Paul Rudd from fucking Marvel Legends. Place the head on a Ghostbusters body, and it works.
I wonder if those ball joints are compatible.
That'd be fun. And I think the big problem with that is just that is very much a Sony property, and they don't have as close a working relationship with Sony as they do with Disney.
Come to think of it, it might have just been like a 2-year contract to do a line for the new movie.
Yeah, it might have been. I would personally love to see that come back. Here's the thing, Hasbro. Mr. Hasbro, may I call you Hasbro? May I pitch to you a concept? Because not every franchise needs a full 6-inch line like Black Series or Legends and stuff like that. So may I pitch to you an idea? Just a 6-inch figure line that just has the IPs you get for a license for like a year.
Like their version of what's it called? Reaction?
Yeah. And it's just like it's the same teams, the same articulation, and it's just like for a couple waves, it's Ghostbusters. For a couple waves, it's Back to the Future.
This year we're doing You want them to do the NECA thing. This year we're doing Ghostbusters. This year we're doing Back to the Future. This year we're doing Terminator. Like we're just conquering all the 80s franchises.
So Boingo, to give you hopium, there is a Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel in development.
Oh yeah, no, it's in the works, but it's just, and I'm not even saying like I'm upset that they're not making Ghostbuster stuff. It's like it's fine. Ghostbusters is a franchise that should ease and wane.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be on the shelves at all times. But what I'm saying is like, yeah, kind of NECA, but like they want to. It seems obvious they want to do all these big franchises and get these figures and do the licenses and all this kind of stuff. But like they did it with Ghostbusters, and it's like, all right, cool. What else? And it's like, that's it. And they made this whole big line and wave, and it's just like, all right, cool. It seems like a lot of wasted effort that if they just put it under one umbrella line, that they could do more with it in a general sense. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I don't know that them putting it in one line really gives them the option to. I don't think it like really opens that up because I don't think the struggle is having it be a line. I think the struggle is the licensing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they could change the license. Then maybe
also,
I don't know.
Back to the Future toys go by the NECA ones, dude. They're perfect.
I would if I had fucking money.
Some of the faces are kind of off. I don't like Marty's face on most of those figures.
Michael J. Fox's face is a weird looking face.
Yeah, he's kind of a Harrison Ford.
I mean, he fucked his own mom, so what do you expect?
He did not fuck his mom. His mom wanted to fuck him, but he did not fuck her.
Okay, guys, it's midnight. You can't be making me laugh like that anymore.
Yeah, my folks want to sleep, so let's try to wrap it up. I don't think we're just padding.
No, I was excited for a lot of it. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, good show. Good show. We had a good time. Way to go, multi-million-dollar Megacorp Hasbro. You made some nerds happy.
I know it's a hard thing to do.
Except the Power Rangers fan, but they're never happy, so who cares?
I mean,
Yeah, but they're children.
in
Why
defense,
do we give a fuck about them?
Yeah.
as I have said, literally every 3 months since I became a Power Rangers fan in 2012, or an online Power Rangers fan in, I think it was 2012. Power Rangers fans are just Transformers fans, but 5 to 10 years in the past.
Yeah.
Anyway, that does it for this episode of Modular Components. Hope you all enjoyed listening to it. Why don't you check out some of the people who are on this show? Buster, plug your shit.
Hi, I'm Buster Corp. I do YouTube videos. You can find them at Buster Bluey. Not Buster. That's my Twitter at BusterBluey3. We're currently celebrating Halloween with a Sans profile pic. But also, it is. Oh yeah, my YouTube channel, Buster Corp. I have some fun videos planned. Some Halloween, some not. Just fun stuff. Go check it out.
Snowcomb, where can people find you on the internet?
My name is Snowbird Conarelli, and you could find me
Do you
on.
do the Gabagool?
I am Gabagool, and
God.
so my Instagram is never_robot, and if you're ever feeling extra super duper spicy, go ahead
your
and look
OnlyFans.
up. Well, no, not just that. Hang on, let me get it out there.
OnlyCody.com.
Fuck, I always forget. This is really bad. I promise. Damn it, what the fuck is it called?
What the fuck is it called?
I was gonna plug the Syntax. It's called Syntax on Spotify. It's a podcast, and we have so far
You've not
over.
told me about this.
No, he
What?
has told us about it. He said told us about it. It's the it's the story podcast.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, we currently have over 15,000 total listeners going on.
And you're
Yeah.
a This Week in Geek podcast? The fuck?
You have more
And,
listeners than anything on this channel? What?
Yeah, on Spotify specifically, I think we have 400 total followers, but we post it on multiple things. Also, side note, I don't know what the link is. I'll have to have Stella send it to me, but go vote for us, I guess. We got nominated for some podcast awards.
What?
And I'm one of the people that got nominated for one of the voice acting awards.
Holy shit, Cody!
Yeah.
This is amazing! Congratulations, dude! I'm shocked you haven't been updating us about this.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad at how I handle, because they tell me I'm one of the. Well, I'm not gonna say. I don't know. I just kind of show up and do the voice lines. I don't really participate.
You're not an active producer of the podcast. You're just
But I do
What's
have a
your
lot of
character's
lines.
name?
Damn it! Stop asking me questions. I've been drinking tonight. It's Washburn's my lashburn's name, but
Greg Washburn,
Washburn's my
security
full.
lead. I'm on the website.
Okay, Jesus.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. Everybody go check that out.
All right.
Boingo, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, fuck. This is kind of going up after that, Hi, I'm on Twitch. I stream a variety of things. Game shows, video games, chatting streams, all that kind of stuff. It's twitch.tv/BoingoWriter. You can find me on social media platforms at Boingo_writer to see the variety of things I do. I'm also on YouTube. I have an ongoing weekly series where I talk about Kamen Rider Geats and looking at it and analyzing it, called Gateway to Geats. I also make a variety of video essays and editorials, one of which should be coming out soon or is already out, depending. Also featuring another member of the podcast, Buster Core. Variety of content. Check me out in places.
Nice. I am the Vacuuminator. I make video essays about tokusatsu, but it's been very slow going this year, and it's even more slow going at the moment because I'm in need of a new computer and I'm kind of trying to get the funds for that together. Hopefully I'll have it by the end of the month, but it's yet to be seen. But in the meantime, go check out my back catalog at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. Also follow me on Twitter at thevacuuminator and check out my figure photography at _vacuuminator on Instagram. But folks, that is going to do it for this episode of Modular Components. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell in order to enable notifications to get every Modular Media podcast delivered to your sub box. Follow us on Twitter for news and updates about when and where we're doing stuff. It's at the Modular Media. Join our subreddit r/Modular Media. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you back here next week.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye. Oh wait, I gotta press the buttons.
Yes, you're the button.